Good evening and welcome to Spanish Fork High School. The Dons are back home after being on the road last week, and tonight they get a little visit from the Cyprus Pirates here tonight. Have made the trip down from Magna. Great to be with everybody. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. We're going to get ready here for the national anthem here at Spanish Fork High School, and so we will join the stadium here with the national anthem here on Spanish Fork 17. The national anthem concludes here at Spanish Fork, and here for the first time tonight, let's take a look at our Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing keys to the game, and we'll welcome in Chris Hurst. Chris, Spanish Fork, a big win last week, but now they got to start building some of that momentum.
Yeah, and I think the key to tonight's victory is they got to continue to be efficient in the passing game with Caden Holt. He'll be leading the team. He's the senior. The next one is they got to win the turnover battle. I don't know if you watched that rivalry game last night, Ryan, but the team that won the turnover battle definitely had the huge advantage at the end of the score there. And then also be special on special teams. Make something happen on special teams, whether it's blocking a kick, returning a kick, but that can also be the one-third of this game. And so that'll be key that Spanish Fork wins that tonight as well.
It'll be fun to see Spanish Fork. It looks like we'll get the ball to start this contest here. The Dons in the red tops, and believe they're wearing the white pants tonight. Cyprus wearing the white tops and the yellow pants with the yellow helmets. Cyprus got stuck in traffic. Some of their players got here about 20 minutes to kick or so. We thought we might be delayed a few minutes, but it looks like we're going to be set and ready to go here for football, as it will be number 15 set to kick it away. I don't have a 15 here on my roster.
It goes from 11 to 16 on this roster as well.
So number 15 set to kick it away here for Cyprus. Back deep for Spanish Fork. Number 3, that's Cade Olson, the sophomore wide receiver, standing back at his own 2-yard line. We're set and ready to go. Settle in for some high school football on Spanish Fork 17. And this one's the kick will go short, and it will be returned out across the 30. Jacob Moore gets brought down around the 29-yard line, and that's where the Spanish Fork offense will start with their senior quarterback, Caden Holt.
Yeah, Caden Holt, as we mentioned, has really been slinging the rock well this season. We don't have any stats available, but his touchdown to interception ratio has been acceptable so far, and I think they're going to rely heavily on spreading the ball with his arm tonight. And if he can hit the open man, they'll have a chance to avenge last year's loss against Cyprus.
Spanish Fork had a comfortable lead in that game last year up in Magna before the Pirates came from behind. And we'll see right off the bat, Cade Olson, the attendant wide receiver, couldn't bring that in. I came up with the first name there, Chris, with the last name of the receiver. And it will be incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Cade Olson hit him right in the hands there, felt a little bit of pressure and was trying to run before he caught it, and unfortunately that ball hits the ground.
2nd and 10 for Spanish Fork. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. And Holt will pitch this one outside, trying to turn the corner, breaking a couple of tackles. That is Tayson Reed, number 28, the sophomore running back on the carry.
And great pursuit by Cam Gold of Cyprus, who was with him step for step and got him there around the corner.
And we'll bring up 3rd and long here for Spanish Fork. The Dons will be in about a 3rd down and about 6 or so. They need the 39-yard line for a first down.
And this is definitely a position where we'll see the Dons try and throw it here.
Spanish Fork looked like they might have been late getting a player on the field, and Caden Holt completes that pass there. That's to Cade Olson. That's going to be good enough for a Spanish Fork first down. The first time tonight we see the Dons move the chains.
And that was a great throw there by Caden Holt, putting it where Cade Olson was the only guy that could get it, and he climbed the ladder and he grabbed that ball out of the air.
First down and 10, ball on the 33-yard line. We'll see the pistol formation here for Spanish Fork. And this will be Reed, I think, up the middle for a couple of yards to about the 44-yard line. Picks up about 3. They might give him they'll give him the 44. I was going to say maybe the 45 with a generous spot.
Yeah, so pick up a 3 there and gets it in a more manageable 2nd and 7. Great job by that offensive line firing, but Cyprus there, the defensive line looks pretty sturdy.
2nd down and 6 after the gain of about 4. And they'll throw the screen pass. Here's Cade Olson trying to get the corner, and he's going to be brought down by number 40. That is Isaiah Fa'atau, number 40 there on the tackle. A nice job there by Cyprus, and a nice job there of containing the edge.
Yeah, and if that was a great job exactly containing the edge. If not, Cade Olson had the sideline to go, but with the short side of the field there, using that 12th defender called the sideline, Cyprus gets a loss of 1 there.
It will put Spanish Fork in a 3rd and long once again. 3rd and 7, 9:52 to go, first quarter, no score. The opening drive for Spanish Fork. Caden Holt back to throw. Pressure comes, gets rid of it, tries to get it out to Tayson Reed, number 28. That one goes incomplete. And Holt took a big shot right there, slow to get up right there with that screen pass. And that's kind of the dangers of the screen, Chris, when your linemen kind of almost just let guys go right at the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. And a result of that was Caden Holt taking a hit. But he was able to get that ball out and save an even bigger loss. But unfortunately, Spanish Fork's going to have to punt regardless of that effort.
Isaiah Fa'atau, number 40, back deep. He's standing at his own 18-yard line. Cade Olson, number 3, will punt for Spanish Fork. Olson gets a good punt off, and this one's going to be fielded at about the 14. Fa'atau to the top of your screen. Now tries to cut back into the middle, and he's brought down around the 26-yard line. Fa'atau, we're going to hear his name a lot tonight here for this Cyprus Pirates team. Chris, this is a team that maybe in Region 2 at the 6A level, that's going to be a very interesting region, but you got to be careful. This Cyprus offense can move the ball and can put up some points.
Yeah, they can, and Spanish Fork saw that firsthand. Last week in the first 2 games, they put up 28 against Murray and then 13 against Ridgeline. Unfortunately, both of those were losses, but I don't think they're going to be intimidated at all by this Spanish Fork Dons defense.
Parker Meldrum, the quarterback, number 8 in shotgun, and he will throw. 3-step drop, gets it out. That is complete there. Still fighting his way, breaking a tackle or two. I believe that was complete to number 40, and that is once again Isaiah Fa'atau there to the top of your screen.
And Fa'atau is not going to go down easy. He fought for 3 additional yards as it took a gain tackle to bring him down by the Dons.
9-yard pickup brings up 2nd and short, really opening the playbook up here early on for the offensive coordinator for the Cyprus Pirates. Lot he can do right here, and this time they will hand it off. That will be good enough for a first down. Number 32, Jaden Lester on the carry. Another guy, a very talented running back in this offense. We might be calling Lester's name quite a bit.
Yeah, and it looked like that was going to be a minimal gain, but then next thing you know, he busts out 7-8 yards. So great lower body control there by Lester as he just turns those legs and gets some extra yards after contact.
First down and 10 for the Cyprus Pirates at their own 40-yard line. They'll go kind of here with the 2 receivers to the bottom. They bring in a couple of blockers, and there's quickly a penalty flag, and I think this is going to go offsides against Spanish Fork, at least from the immediate indication right here. We'll kind of wait and see here as the officials begin to talk. We'll see here at Spanish Fork's going to back up. I think we're going to get our first penalty flag. And it's going to be, it looks like, offsides against the Dons.
And that'll move them back move Cyprus up 5 yards, excuse me.
And I think that's one of those kind of silent mistakes, Chris, that can kind of hurt your football team. They show up in the box score, but at the same time, the extra 5 yards for Cyprus early on really helps.
Yeah, and it lets them be more aggressive in the play calling.
Here's Lester again on the carry. This time, though, runs into the middle of the defense, and Spanish Fork able to get there. That, I believe, was Tayson Reed, number 28, getting there on the stop.
Yeah, the Tayson Reed's a sophomore, and we've seen him at running back earlier, so a lot of young talent here for Spanish Fork this year. A lot of sophomores playing up.
2nd down and 5 coming up here. 7:50 to go, first quarter. First drive of the ball game for the Cyprus Pirates, and they're approaching midfield. Ready to go right here. 4 wide receivers. Meldrum gets it out quickly. Fahatau makes the catch, and immediately there was Luke Evans, number 13. The first Don to get there. Had some help from Brendan Cabreros, number 27, and a couple other Dons get there quickly.
Yeah, and Luke Evans, as you mentioned, great pursuit of the ball that time, and the Dons really, after giving up that 5-yard penalties, atoned for it with 2 great defensive plays, bringing up 3rd and long here.
3rd down and 8. They're looking to get to midfield. Is where Cyprus needs to get. The students begin to chant defense. Back to throw. Meldrum, 3-step drop, taking a shot deep, looking for Fahatau down the sideline, incomplete. And that will bring up 4th down. It looks like the throw just kind of took Fahatau there towards the sideline.
It took him to the sideline. He was able to get one paw on it, but not both. And if that ball is just maybe, I don't know, half a yard, not even half a yard, maybe a foot back, I think Fahatau can come up with that catch.
So right now, it's going to bring in Parker Meldrum. Looks to be the person back deep to punt. You have to be very careful. Jacob Moore, I believe the return man. Meldrum gets it away. A good punt, takes a nice bounce. Moore will field it from about the 15, trying to get the corner. Good contain from Cyprus, and he'll get to the 21, but a penalty flag coming in. Getting there was JJD on the stop. And
JJ Underwood. They cut his name off on your roster.
So JJ Underwood right here on the stop.
And yeah, there were several Cyprus Pirates that were just hauling down the field there and containing that edge.
We'll correct this in my roster, and we'll see here what the penalty is going to be for. And they're going to move it back to about the 20. I didn't see what the penalty was for. I don't know if they maybe picked up the flag, but it'll be 1st and 10 for Spanish Fork back at their own 20-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Here's the give right up the middle. And this is going to be Joshua Buck on the carry. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, no gain there. Great job by Cyprus's defense, plugging all the gaps and making sure Buck had nowhere to run.
So 2nd down and long for Spanish Fork. From their own 20-yard line, 4 wide receivers. Keep an eye on that matchup at the bottom. Corbin Harrison for Spanish Fork. Holt back to throw, gets it out in the flat. That's complete. That's Cade Olson, number 3. And he gets out to the 25-yard line. A nice pickup of 5. And makes it going to be a 3rd down and a much more manageable situation for Spanish Fork here in a 3rd and about 5.
Yeah, and their defense just got off the field. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out and put your defense right back into having to defend the Cyprus Pirates.
Spanish Fork will break the huddle. The Dons looking for a 1st down conversion here to keep the drive alive. Holt, 3-step drop, gets it out quickly. Quickly just kind of gets that one out. Cade Olson had that one off his hands. It just looks like a little miscommunication, or maybe Cade Olson trying to just get that one out in a hurry.
He tried to get it out in a hurry. I think he could have waited just maybe another heartbeat or 2 to get that out there, and I think that would have gave Cade Olson enough time to turn around. Instead, they'll be punting the ball here with Cade Olson punting.
So Cade Olson to punt from his own 11. Fahatau back deep for Cyprus. Here's the punt, a good end-over-end punt Fahatau makes the catch of his own 32, makes a couple of men miss, jumps it outside, looking to try to get the edge, and now he's outside with some room. Cabreros there, going to stop him at about the 46-yard line. A good open field tackle from Brendan Cabreros, but great starting field position here for the Cyprus Pirates, as we'll take a look at this replay.
And let's see if we can catch the block in the back right there, and that was missed, and instead Cyprus is able to return the ball out to the 40, about the 45 there. Spanish Fork, but great tackle here by Cabreros, as we see on the Car Guys instant replay.
So it'll be first down and 10 coming up here for Cyprus. Both teams now having 2 possessions on the evening. And Cyprus for the first time in the Spanish Fork territory. Here's Lester up the middle, gets outside, now cuts it back inside, still on his feet. And he's going to be brought down inside the 35 to about the 30. I think they're going to give him the 32-yard line or so. And that's just a strong run there from Jaden Lester.
Yeah, and there was a big hole off to the right side. He trucked his way through it. And, you know, a good running back always falls forward. And we saw Lester fall 3 yards forward after contact.
First down and 10, ball on the Spanish Fork 32-yard line. 4 wide receivers ready to go here for Cyprus. Meldrum back to throw, steps up, looks over the middle. That one nearly intercepted, but instead is going to be completed to Logan Timpson, number 88. And Timpson's down to about the 24-yard line.
Yeah, and that ball was just fired into Timpson that time. And Meldrum's got a cannon for an arm.
It'll bring up second down and about maybe 1 coming up here for Cyprus. 2nd and 2 it looks like. Pirates looking to try to convert. 4:30 to go, first quarter. Here's Lester straight up the middle, now jumps it outside to the 20s. He'll be brought down around the 17-yard line. Jacob Moore getting in on the stop, along with Dallin Pepper.
Yeah, Luke Evans also cleaning it up as well, as it took 3 guys to bring him. But Lester finds that hole, and then he just gets down, and then it takes 3 Dons to bring him down.
He's a downhill runner, and Cyprus has had some success tonight with that run. Something to keep in mind as we go here throughout the evening.
Yeah, Cyprus so far has had a very balanced attack.
First down and 10. Meldrum back to throw, looking end zone one-on-one, and that one just overthrew the intended wide receiver. Believe that was Jordan Orozco, number 10, they were trying to get it to. And now we'll bring up second down and 10 here for Cyprus.
A second down and 10, and we'll see if Cyprus goes back to the run with Lester, or if they elect to throw it in the air. I think if I'm the Dons, I'm using my front to maybe do a run blitz in this situation.
Spanish Fork defense has been on the field a lot in the first quarter. A lot of hand on their hips here in the early going. 2nd and 10. Here's going to be Meldrum on a straight quarterback draw, and Meldrum down to about the 10-yard line. A good pickup there from Meldrum on 2nd and 10.
Yeah, big pickup, and that makes it a manageable 3rd and about 4 or 5. Here's the thing, though. It's 3rd down, but you're at the 10. I'm not sure what the kicking situation is, but for most high school teams, this is 4-down territory, so you don't necessarily need to pick it up here, so your playbook is entirely open.
We'll see here. They may just try to go back to Lester, who's had some good success on the ground here in the first quarter. And we're going to, looks like, have a timeout Cyprus here with 3 minutes and 22 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Timeout Pirates. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We have the Car Guys, the Blue Diamond Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Thompson and Hunter, Attorneys at Law, and the Driggs Mortgage Team. We thank them for making this broadcast possible tonight. We want to welcome those watching on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. I also want to remind you can watch on sfcn.org and click on the Watch Live button right here. So just so you have the option and the privilege to call your family, let them know that they can tune in wherever they may be here tonight for high school football on what's kind of a muggy night here in Spanish Fork. Some clouds moving in, but we got a good 3rd and 4 coming up from the 10.
Look at this formation.
Here's Lester on the carry, gets the first down inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. And that was just a straight power run formation right there from Cyprus.
That was like a pistol diamond, I guess. But it got the job done as there was plenty of blocking for Lester to pick that up.
So it'll be 1st and goal for the Pirates inside the 5. Once again, you're going to see, as Chris called it, that pistol diamond formation. Lester, the deep back, gets the call, and he will believe he got in, and he's going to be just short. He'll be about half a yard short of the end zone, and brings up 2nd and goal. 2nd
and goal, and I imagine we'll see 3 more runs here until they either put it in or Spanish Fork stops them.
We might see Lester, and more Lester right here, but we'll see. Keep an eye on maybe that quarterback sneak.
Yeah, and I don't know what pass options they have out of that formation or if they're going to elect to change formation, but the advantage of it is you also have 2 fullbacks if you want to go with a fullback blast.
So right here, they go back into that straight diamond formation. My guess is run right up the middle.
This time it's under center, though.
It's going to be Meldrum on the quarterback keeper. Touchdown, Cyprus.
Yeah, that was a heavy dose of Cyprus running attack, and it results in 6 points. That was a very impressive drive by Cyprus, and Spanish Fork's going to have to make some adjustments to stop the rushing attack.
So right there, 6-0 lead for Cyprus. The extra point is going to be attempted. It's going to be number 15. Trying to see here who... The only kicker on their roster is wearing number 10, and it's not him. So we'll see here. The snap is good, the hold good, the kick, a line drive kick, but it's through, and Cyprus has struck first, a 7-0 lead. The Pirates' 2nd drive of the game ends in 7, and it's a 7-0 lead for the Cyprus Pirates.
Yeah, for Cyprus, you got great field position off that Foatoa punt return all the way to the 40, and then they were able to just really keep it on the ground outside of one pass and just run the ball down Spanish Fork's throat. So we'll have to see if Spanish Fork has any answers here.
Next week, we got another one coming up for you. We'll be just up the road a ways. Up in Provo will be Spanish Fork and the Provo Bulldogs. The new Provo High, the 2nd year of their stadium out there. And that will be a good one. Provo, some people say the pick to win Region 8. They're trying to break tonight, Chris, a 29-year losing streak to Timpview.
That's always a tough task, and Timpview's had great teams year after year, but Provo's got them a decent squad this year, so maybe this is the year.
They've done just a great job with that Provo program over the last few years. We did a playoff game 2 or 3 years ago over Maple Mountain when it was Provo and Maple Mountain. There's a return. It's going to be Cade Olson from about the 5, out across the 15, trying to turn the corner. He'll get past one, down the sidelines, escorted out of bounds, and brought down on the return. It was number 34. That was Ryan Herzog for Cyprus on the tackle, but a nice return by Cade Olson, and Spanish Fork has decent field position to start this drive.
Yeah, they do, and I think the key is they can't go 3 and out. Their defense seemed to be a little gassed that last drive, so if they can at least sustain a drive, that'll help. Obviously, the end goal is getting a touchdown, but I think it's critical if they don't get that to at least pick up a couple of first downs on this possession.
Tayson Reed, the back right here. 4 wide receivers, the sun peeking through the clouds here tonight at Spanish Fork. 4 wide receivers, and the give. It will be Holt on play action, gets it out. There's number 2, that is Elias Davidson on the catch, and he's got a first down across the 40-yard line. And right there you see Spanish Fork just go to a quick throw.
Yeah, Davidson was just a couple of yards short and puts his head down and gets that extra yardage to pick up a first down. And as I mentioned earlier, that's key to letting your defense get some rest.
First down and 10 at the Spanish Fork 42-yard line. 1:50 to go here in the first quarter. 3 wide receivers back to throw. They'll go with the option play. Ball is loose, and it will be the quarterback, Caden Holt, who dives on it back at the 28. They're going to lose. That's going to be a loss of about 13 or 14, Chris, and that's going to be a big loss for Spanish Fork on second down.
Yeah, and that was a huge hit that time by number 31, Sua. who just came up and blasted the ball. And when you put a helmet on the ball, you saw it fly back, and that's exactly what happened. But heads-up play by Holt there, jumping on it.
I'm going to correct it. It's going to be second down and about 22. They're going to mark it at the 29-yard line right here. So 4 wide receivers. Cyprus kind of loading the box here. We'll see if Spanish Fork tries to maybe take a shot. Holt looking that way, taking a shot, one-on-one down the seam, has a man, that's caught by Cade Olson. He's inside the 20 to the 10 to the 5, touchdown Dons.
What a huge pass that time as Caden Holt shows how strong his arm is, and Cade Olson just outruns everybody, and really he's quick, and we saw that on that kick return. He's got an extra gear that nobody on Cyprus's team can keep up with him.
That is a 71-yard touchdown strike and a big score for Spanish Fork to respond as it goes from Caden Holt to Cade Olson. And now we'll get Cade Olson a chance to tie it himself right here. Caden Holt will hold on the extra point. Snap good, hold good. Kick is low, but it is no good. And it will be a 7-6 lead for Cyprus here with 48 seconds to play in the first quarter. That's the kind of response, Chris. Maybe you wanted a little bit longer drive, but anyway, you'll take the points. If you're Preston Parrish and the Dons, you'll take the points.
Yeah, anybody will take points over a longer drive, I think, and that's a huge play. Maybe that just ignites the rest of the team. Sometimes you see this high school football where just one play like that changes the entire momentum of a game.
We'll get ready to kick it away with 48 seconds to go. This is the last non-region game for Region 8. We start next week. Those region games begin to count towards the Region 8 championship. 2 regions tonight getting underway in the state of Utah. Region 9 with the schools down in the St. George area, and also I believe Region 1 up in 6A, the kind of the Davis County area 6A schools. They were getting started tonight for real.
Well, and I believe in 5A here, I think the first 6 teams get a bye. So this is a huge win if Spanish Fork can pull it off on a 6A team, at least from an RPI standpoint.
Here's the kick, and it will be returned. That is Fatau, number 40 on the return, trying to get outside. Makes a nice cut, now cuts it outside, or attempts to, and he's brought down in the return game. I believe that was number 5 on it, McKay Perry, the first Don there.
Yeah, another sophomore with a big play, McKay Perry, making sure Fatau didn't go anywhere. And I was looking at the bracket, and it looks like, as you mentioned last week, everybody's going to make the playoffs, and then the first 6 get a bye.
The first 6 total in the RPI.
Yes.
Okay. And that's one thing I was talking with Spanish Fork co-offensive coordinator Jake Brandon before the game, and that's kind of one of the things we were talking about, was trying to figure out how some of this RPI works. I'm like, hey, somebody's going to have to get a bye. There's 26 teams at the 5A level. Here is Lester on the carry, and Lester's going to go down after gaining about a yard there on first down. It brings up second down and about 9 or so coming up here for Cyprus.
Great defensive play, but quickly getting back to that RPI. There's a bracket out on Max Preps where it shows it that the first 6 get a bye, but it's just a normal 32-team bracket outside of that first week. So
it should be interesting there, and then I would imagine 7 plays 26, I would imagine, and that's kind of how it will go.
Correct.
Meldrum back to throw, takes a shot, has a man wide open. That's a Roscoe at the 40. It's a foot race to the end zone, and Cyprus will extend the lead to end the first quarter. Touchdown Pirates.
Yeah, and that was just a missed assignment that time. We got one of the officials running clear down here. Yeah, and the safety bid on something that time, and that allowed for the play. But I don't know
if
the clock go out before the play went.
And that's what I don't know. Right here, they're marking the ball back, I think, at the 41, and what a big break that could be if you're Spanish Fork. That could potentially take the touchdown off the board, and from the reaction of everybody, it looks like that touchdown's going to be off the board. And
ineligible receiver downfield.
So now the the quarter can end on a penalty on the offense. And I think the quarter is over. We're going to head to the second quarter on Spanish Fork 17. Cyprus on top, 7-6 on Spanish Fork here on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome everybody back here. Some parents being honored in between quarters here at Spanish Fork High School, where it's a 7-6 lead right now for the Cyprus Pirates. An opportunity right here and a big kind of momentum shift, Chris. We thought we had about a 70-yard touchdown for Cyprus. Now it's actually 5 yards back for the Pirates and brings up second down and 9.
Yeah, there was a huge play, but somebody was ineligible. Receiver was downfield, so that negates that huge play. We'll see if Spanish Fork's defense can take advantage of it, but they got to make sure that they're disciplined at the safety position and do not allow anybody to get behind them.
The officials are still talking. You can kind of see them right there, kind of in the middle of your screen. I don't know if they're trying to sort out necessarily where the ball is supposed to be.
I think they were trying to figure out what down it was.
And so it will be set. Well, they haven't changed it yet. It looks like it will be second down. They're going to place the ball at the 29-yard line. We're ready to go here for the second quarter. Man goes in motion. That's Ryan Herzog, number 34. And it's Meldrum straight ahead on the quarterback keeper and immediately getting there on the stop. Morgan Molstein, number 7, came in as one of the state's leaders in sacks into this week. A nice job there for Molstein.
Yeah, Molstein, big 6'4", 195 frame, made sure Meldrum went nowhere that time. Oh. And it's third and 11 here, so this is a huge play for Cyprus. They'll be going 3 and out themselves.
And after the big Spanish Fork touchdown, I don't know if Cyprus wants to immediately punt and give the ball back to Spanish Fork. Third down and 11, Cyprus needs the 41 to move the chains. Meldrum back to throw, steps up, now tries to run, doesn't have anything, and will go down. He is going to be brought down. That is Rupina, and getting there, number 8, I believe, Michele Lua, number 8, and a nice job there. Spanish Fork playing their gaps.
Yeah, and all started with Oldham getting pressure and forcing Meldrum to the outside there, and then the rest of his friends cleaning that play up, and Spanish Fork will get the ball back just down by 1 here.
The quarterback, Parker Meldrum, the punter for Cyprus. You always have to keep an eye when the quarterback's the punter that you may not see some kind of fake at some point, probably not here this deep in their territory. And a nice line drive punt away from everybody. Olsen misplays, it just goes right through his legs, and it'll be down at around the 22-yard line. And that's where we're going to see the drive start. And there's a late penalty flag that was thrown. I saw something go up in the air. I couldn't see necessarily what it was, but it's a penalty flag right by the Spanish Fork sideline at about the 38.
It might be a sideline warning as the official was trying to run up the field to cover it. Maybe he didn't have enough room. We'll have to see what the call is.
I believe you get a warning, and then on the second time, that's when you get the penalty assessed. We'll see right here. The official wearing the white cap will make the call here for us. And it'll be a sideline warning against, it looks like, Spanish Fork. And it will be, it looks like, first down for the Dons. Well, they're going to...
I guess if it's bad enough, they don't give you a warning. Or the rules changed.
So I think they're going to move it back 5 yards to the 18-yard line from the 23. So it'll be first down. It'll be first and 10 Spanish Fork from the 18-yard line.
And that's just a horrible mistake, but it's first and 10 instead of first and 15, so that's a good situation.
4 wide receivers here Caden Holt quickly gets it out. That is caught. That will get him a few yards out there, and I believe that was Elias Davidson, number 2, on the catch. That'll bring up second down and about 6 coming up for Spanish Fork.
And then nice quick hitter there by Holt, not allowing the defense to make or to deflect that pass, and gets a nice rhythm when you can throw those quick passes, and also it takes time off the clock.
That clock continuing to run right here. 4 wide receivers ready to go for Spanish Fork. Here's the play action. Holt's going to keep it, and he's going to go down. Number 49 for Cyprus.
I don't have a number.
And he was the first one there to make the stop, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, Cyprus has probably about half their players on the roster that you must have gotten on the internet, and I got here at the game.
I got this one. This is actually the one that I got here when I got here earlier today.
Okay.
I did. I'll just, we'll figure it out as we go here. But at the end of the day, 3rd and 14 coming up right here. 9:14 to play in the first half. 4 wide receivers ready to go. Back to throw. Caden Holt pressured again. He'll go down, this time inside the 5. The second back-to-back sacks. This time it will bring up 4th down, and Spanish Fork will punt from their own end zone.
And that looked like number 49 again. And was that 76?
I have
Tuhuna?
on the Max Preps roster, Cyprus has 49 as Ami Tuatupo.
Will Tuatupa. It's actually out of order on the roster. On mine it goes 50, 51, then 49.
Okay, so like we said, we'll figure it out.
It's on the roster, just not in numerical order.
And they'll punt it away, a low line drive punt. Fahatau takes it on the run at the 40, inside the 25 to the 20, still on his feet. Cuts it, lost the football, and Spanish Fork says they got it. We'll have to sort this one out right here, and don't see any signal yet from the official, and it will be Cyprus football.
Yeah, J.J. Underwood, the heads-up play, jumps on that ball at the end, but could have been a costly mistake for Cyprus. Instead, they'll start inside the Driggs Mortgage Team red zone.
For Spanish Fork, it was Austin Cook, a senior linebacker, who knocked that one away. And here comes Cyprus ready to go. 1st and 10 from the 18 with 8:14 to play before half. Leading this one 7-6 on the road.
You got to come away with points when you get these short fields.
Meldrum from shotgun. He'll be back to throw. Looking end zone, one-on-one. Has a man. That's Orozco. He's in. Touchdown, Cyprus.
Yeah, it just took one play after that huge return, and Cyprus is back in the end zone and adding to that lead. It was a 19-yard pass to Orozco there, and he's able to beat the defender of the end zone. And 13-6 with the PAT pending. Wow, I am struggling tonight, Ryan.
Julian Gonzalez, number 15, will get ready to kick the extra point. Meldrum will hold. And the Cyprus roster on Max Preps, Chris, adding Gonzalez earlier this afternoon. Snap good, hold good, but there's some movement up front. I think this is going to back the Pirates up. It'll be an illegal procedure call, according to our official.
That was Rapena that time, jumping offside. He's just a freshman. I'm surprised how many. Oh, they're moving it back, huh?
So we'll try it again right here with Meldrum to hold. Gonzalez now has a little bit longer of an extra point. Snap good, hold good. The kick, I thought it was going to be blocked, but it looks good. It's straight through the uprights. It's still a one-score game of 14-6 in favor of Cyprus. So if you're Spanish Fork, still a one-score game. But now you have to try to find a way here to see what you can do. We are in the second quarter here on Spanish Fork 17. And I don't know if we're scoreboard now showing zeros right here. So I think we're going to try to figure something out here with the scoreboard. 14-6 right here. We'll just kind of keep this going here as best we can right here. But Chris, what do you like so far that you're seeing from the Cyprus Pirates tonight?
Well, that first time they scored, they had a short field, took advantage of it, and they ran the ball in. And then this time when they had the short field, they were able to throw it on first down and connect. So I think they're really opportunistic. So far they haven't had a long drive, but when they've gotten great field position on Spanish Fork side of the field, they've capitalized with a touchdown. And that always helps when you can get great field position.
We're in the second quarter here, 14-6, ready to go. Gonzalez will get ready to kick it away from his 40. Back deep to receive is Corbin Harrison, number 1. It's a short kickoff, and on the return, making a couple of men miss, is, I believe, number 25, Jace Jones on the return.
A great return. We have a penalty, but the one thing that Spanish Fork's been doing is they've been punting the ball, to Fautau, and he's had great returns. I think you got to punt away from that guy. That's really set Cyprus up for great field position in this game, and it's been the key to them getting this lead so far.
I could be wrong, Chris. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Both of the touchdowns for Cyprus, they started in Spanish Fork field territory.
Correct. They started on I believe the 42 and the 19, and both of them were set up by great punt returns.
We're going to see here what the penalty flag. It's down right around the 32. Spanish Fork starting to walk backwards, so it's going to be against the Dons, and it's going to be of the 15-yard variety. So instead of starting back at around your 38, you're going to start inside your own 20 at about the 17. I think it must have been from the spot of the foul, and that's a big penalty now. Spanish Fork starts inside their own 20. Here is Caden Holt trying to get outside. Lowers his head, breaks one. He's into the open field. Cyprus trying to chase him. They'll just kind of jump on his back and pull him down across midfield. A big play there from Caden Holt, the senior quarterback.
And he was finally wrestled down by Butler, but not after a gain of 30, as you mentioned. And that's the old option where Cyprus just bid on the handoff, and Holt keeps it and goes a long ways.
It'll be 1st and 10, Spanish Fork. They're in a Cyprus field position at the Pirate 47-yard line. Looking to try to see if they can tie this one up before half.
And give Spanish Fork might be winning the yardage game here, but not on the scoreboard.
That one's batted down at the line. I believe it was number 88, Logan Tipson, who got his fingers on that one there, the defensive end.
Yeah, great play by Timpson. If you can't get to the quarterback, put your arms up, and sometimes you limit the throwing lanes or can get a deflection like they did that time.
2nd down and 10, 7:37 to go here in the
second quarter.
Second quarter.
Scoreboard says first, but we're in the second.
14-6, 4 wide receivers coming right here for Spanish Fork. Read the back directly here behind Caden Holt. And there again, Holt will keep it on the quarterback draw, lowers his head as he hits kind of the heart of the Cyprus defense, and he'll gain about 3, maybe 4, depending on the spot. He'll get down to about the 44.
And great job by Cyprus stuffing the initial hole, and Holt had to go to the side to just get what he could that time.
14-6, Cyprus. We weren't sure if we were going to see an offensive shootout, if we would see kind of a defensive battle. We're kind of trying to figure some of that out. And I think we're going to get somewhere in between.
Yeah, both teams are huddling up. There's no hurry offenses here, so I think it just feels like more of a traditional football game here.
Holt ready to go, gets it out in the flat, has a receiver. That is complete. That is out to Tenny Worthen, a freshman wide receiver. And a nice pickup there for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, Worthen's very shifty there as he makes the catch and is able to pick up a few more yards after the catch, which is huge.
You take a look at this receiving core, Chris, for Spanish Fork. You have Corbin Harrison and Elias Davidson, both seniors, but then you go to the sophomore Cade Olson, you get Tenny Worthen involved. You get some young future playmakers for Spanish Fork.
They're playing a lot of freshmen and sophomores.
This time just a screen pass. Here's Jacob Moore on the catch, and Moore gets maybe a yard or two just on just a simple bubble screen.
Yeah, and that might have actually been a run. I couldn't tell if that was behind the line or not, but Moore does a great job of catching that. Unfortunately, Cyprus really closed the gap there, and he was only able to pick up a yard or two.
And now you're starting to see Cyprus, Chris, with some hands on their hips here, with 6 minutes to go before half.
Yeah, it's kind of a hot, humid type night tonight, and that's kind of the weather we get here in August. And we'll have to see if when it cools down, if the players show a little more reaction. But both teams look slow.
Holt taking a shot, has a man. That's caught. That's Corbin Harrison. And Harrison will have a first down to about the 11-yard line. The 6-foot senior wide receiver just on a curl route.
Yeah, great job by him finding a hole in that zone, dropping the ball right in there to Harrison was Holt, and they pick up a first down and are near the 10-yard line.
So back inside the Driggs Mortgage Team red zone, Spanish Fork tries to see if they can inch closer to tying, to at least being able to attempt to tie this one up. 4 wide receivers. Back to throw, 3-step drop. They get it out quickly. Here's Reed out of the backfield. Reed breaks 1 tackle, and then he's pushed out around the 2.5, 3-yard line. A nice pickup there and just going to the check down receiver.
Yeah, great job by Reed getting his hands on there. And, talking about young guys, he's just a sophomore for the Dons, and they're just a couple of yards away from scoring here.
Tayson Reed ready to go here in the pistol formation. 4 wide receivers for Spanish Fork. And it will be Reed up the middle, and this time not much going through the middle. As Manny Garcia getting there immediately for the stop, brings up a 3rd down and 2. And Chris, this is the kind of drive, if you're Spanish Fork, we kind of saw in that game against Cedar City a little bit. There's a couple of key drives where Spanish Fork had a tough time getting it in the end zone. This is an opportunity Spanish Fork really needs to get 6.
Yeah, you need to get 6 and keep up with the Pirates.
And now there's going to be...
Cyprus has got to be offsides.
And we'll see here, and I think the early indication is from the officials on the sidelines is going to be offsides.
If it is, it's going to be close to a first down. I don't know how the half a distance is going to affect it, if it will automatically be first down or third just an inch or a few inches.
They're already pretty close. I think they can, and they're going to have a first down. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 1. This is where I kind of wonder if you don't put Caden Holt under center and just try to go back to the old-fashioned quarterback sneak.
Yeah, that'd be a good call, Ryan.
Holt will throw, looking for Reed out of the backfield. Touchdown, Spanish Fork.
A great job by Reed catching another touchdown pass. Well, his first of the night, but Holt throwing his second one.
Reed just kind of snuck out of the backfield there, left unaccounted for. And now we'll see what Spanish Fork decides to do. I think they're just going to go for the extra point here. Some coaches would say you're going to chase points, but if you don't get the 2, then it's kind of early on to necessarily feel like you have to go for 2.
Yeah, with 4:58, if you trust your kicker, I think this is the right call. If you're sometimes there's adventures in kicking at the high school level. If you don't trust them, I'd go for 2.
Kate Olson puts this one up and through. The extra point is good, and with 4:56 to play in the second quarter, a 14-13 lead for Cyprus on top of Spanish Fork. Once again, Chris, we see Cyprus go down and score. We see Spanish Fork find a way to recover. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors here on Spanish Fork 17.
Yeah, we'd like to thank the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, Mikhail Thompson and Hunter, attorneys at law, and the Driggs Mortgage Team for making this broadcast possible. And also call your friends, call your enemies, call whoever you want, but have them tune in to youtube.com/SpanishFork17 to watch this broadcast and other broadcasts like the city council meetings right there on YouTube.
Definitely a fun opportunity here, and you can even catch replays of our broadcasts and our other programming here on Spanish Fork 17 on that same page. And we're set and ready to go. The presence that Spanish Fork 17 had at Fiesta Days this year, it seemed like every time on social media I went on there was something else that SF17 was doing at Fiesta Days. I didn't get a chance to make it down, but
And they'll give you a notification if you subscribe.
Line drive kickoff on the return. It's going to be, that is Adrian Bonuelos. And Bonuelos out across the 30-yard line or so. And a penalty flag coming in at the end of the play. And we'll see here, this one may be against the Cyprus Pirates.
And if it is, that'll back Cyprus up. And Cyprus has done really good at taking advantage of the short field, but they haven't drove the length of the field like Spanish Fork has twice. So we'll see if they can finally do it or if the trend continues.
So right here, they're still sorting this penalty out. The ball would be placed pretty close to the 30-yard line. And Cyprus starting to walk back. Personal foul against Cyprus. And it'll be first down. So it'll be first down and 10 coming up right here.
So, yeah, first and 10 from about the 15-yard line here. And Cyprus will line it back up with the quarterback Meldrum under center.
And here's a straight give up the middle. They're out to about the 17-yard line. On the first down carry, I think they went right back to Lester.
Yeah. Lester's been their workhorse so far, and he's had quite a good game, especially on the short field.
Cyprus has been content to chew up some clock here in the first half. Second down and 8 coming up for the Pirates. Meldrum from shotgun, Lester the back. Meldrum will throw. Looking towards the sideline, has a man out there. That is complete. That is out to Faatau.
Faatau's quite the athlete for Cyprus as we see him get open. He's had multiple catches, great punt returns tonight, made a couple of big plays on defense. He's, for lack of a better term, a Swiss Army knife for Cyprus.
Playing both ways. He's been in on special teams. He doesn't get many plays off for the Cyprus Pirates.
Yeah, correct.
First and 10, they'll be at the 28-yard line. They go kind of into this tight formation where they bring in a couple of blockers, and here's Lester straight ahead, right into the heart of that Spanish Fork defense. And 3 or 4 Dons getting there quickly to make the stop, brings up second down and about 8.
Yeah, and if Lester gets a couple of steps, that he's a really good downhill runner, as we mentioned, but Spanish Fork negates that, and it's only a pickup of 3.
Cyprus with with 2 timeouts. Spanish Fork with all 3. We'll see how the coaches want to play that here the rest of the way. Third down coming up. Here's the give. Lester tries to bounce it outside. Now cuts it back up inside. Breaks a tackle before going down about the 36-yard line. So another hard-fought game, about 5, will bring up third and somewhere in the 2 or 3 range.
Yeah, 3rd and 2, and for Cyprus, it's a question of you want to keep running the ball here or maybe try play-action pass. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those, them bring in a couple of fullbacks here and just try and run it up the middle.
So right now, we'll see what happens. 3rd down and 2. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the first half. Meldrum from shotgun, Lester the back. Here's the give, Lester, and this time he's immediately brought down to the backfield. Getting there was number 76 for Spanish Fork, and Preston Parrish will use his first time out.
Yeah, great job by Spanish Fork's defense. Number 76 is not on our roster, but he shot in there, and multiple Dons shot in there as well, and to make sure that was a stop. And that's 4th and 6, and Cyprus will have to punt here.
It'll be 4th down and 5 coming up. We're all trying to sort out up here in the press box who made the tackle right there, and I think we may have had some number changes or something happening. It'll bring up 4th down and 5.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He made the tackle. Get that off. I mean, it does matter. It's important for these kids to get the recognition they deserve, but regardless, he made that a huge play there. And Spanish Fork's got number 12 more back to return this.
We'll see here what Cyprus elects to do. It's Meldrum into punt. Jacob Moore at about his own 24-yard line. And here's the punt. It's going to be away from Jacob Moore. It takes a bounce. Moore, I think, was thinking about picking it up or so. He'll stay away from it, and it will be down at around the 24-yard line. With 2 minutes and 19 seconds to play in the first half, plenty of time. And with the way Caden Holt's been able to run this offense tonight, Chris, you got to like the opportunity to at least have a chance at some points.
Yeah, and Caden Holt and the boys out there have been able to make a couple of big plays in this game. They're able to get chunk yards. With 2:19 to go, I believe they have 2 timeouts. Time should not be an issue, and they have a great chance here to take a lead into half against the big 6A power Cyprus.
So it'll be first down and 10, ball on the 24-yard line. 4 wide receivers on for Spanish Fork. Holt back, that's going to be an incomplete pass right there. As that was actually Zach Dart, number 18 in the ball game. Right there. That 8 and 10 kind of caught me for a second. I'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it is 18 out there.
So they're going to put Caden Holtz in the slot, kind of to the bottom of your screen. Right there. 2nd down and 10 right here. Dart back to throw with some time, looking towards the sideline. And Kate Olson trying to make a diving attempt. That one goes incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and about 10.
Yeah, so 3rd and 10, and that's not the way you wanted to start this drive if you're Spanish Fork with 2 incompletions. Dart's put it right on the money, and his receivers haven't been able to catch the ball.
So right now, we'll see what happens here. 3rd and 10 passing situation. The last thing Spanish Fork wants to do here is have a 3 and out. 4 wide receivers ready to go. Back to throw. Dart with time, has protection, looking over the middle, has a man out there, and that one's going to go incomplete. Looking, I believe, for number 16, Jace Gunter.
Jace Gunter looked like he was going to come up with that catch, was unable to handle that, and that's 3 drops right before the half, and Cyprus is going to get the ball back with about 2 minutes to go, and the way they've been having these punt returns, probably good field position.
Fatau, number 40, back deep here for Cyprus. He's had a couple of nice returns here. We'll see if Spanish Fork does kind of what Chris suggested earlier, and that was punt away from him. And this one's going to be a line drive punt. Almost hit one of the Cyprus players running down the field. It will go out of bounds, and they do kick it away from him. They'll begin to walk it off to about the 39-yard line of Spanish Fork with 2 minutes to go in the half and 2 timeouts for Cyprus. Their bread and butter tonight, Chris, has really been the running game. And right here with 2 minutes to go, you can't really run it a ton unless you break a big play through the run.
Yeah, you can run it a couple times to see if you can bust one loose, but you're right, the clock only stops when you go out of bounds, when you pick up a first down or use a timeout. I believe Cyprus has 2 timeouts left here in the half as well as Spanish Fork, so we'll have to see if Cyprus does run it, if Spanish Fork gets a big stop, if they elect to use a timeout here in this critical time management situation.
We've seen Preston Parrish before be kind of the aggressor in some ways and use a couple of those timeouts to try to get the football back. Here's Meldrum, gets it out, complete. Herzog, number 34, turns the corner, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds right around the 36-yard line. A nice pickup there on the screen pass.
And the other thing to consider is Cyprus has a 1-point lead. If they score here, they'll also get the ball to start the half, and we've seen some teams slingshot themselves into a big lead by scoring at the end of the half and then scoring on the initial drive of the 3rd quarter.
2nd down and 5. They'll get the ball out to the 44-yard line. The 45-yard line. A good opportunity here to see what Cyprus can do. Fatau to the bottom of your screen. Keep an eye on him here. And they'll set up the screen pass. Here's Lester out of the backfield. Picks up a block across midfield. End of the 40s. Brought down at about the 32-yard line. Jacob Moore, I believe, in on the stop. But that one's set up well, and Cyprus now in dangerous field position.
Yeah, Cyprus noticed Spanish Fork was really just blitzing, and that was the perfect call in that situation. And Lester's able to catch it and get upfield in a hurry. And really a touchdown-saving tackle that time by Moore.
1st and 10 for Cyprus. Meldrum back to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Looking towards the sideline. Back shoulder throw was the attempt there. That one about 5 yards short, looking for Fatau. And now bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, great pressure by the Dons that time as they made Meldrum roll out to his right, and he really did not look comfortable throwing on the run as that one triple hopped in to Fautau.
1:32 to play. 2nd and 10 coming up for Cyprus at the half. We'll have the halftime show for you. We'll recap our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game, and we'll check some scores from throughout the region here tonight. 2nd down and 10, ready to go. 4 wide receivers right here. Ready to go. And back to throw. Meldrum has some time, looking for Fautau, has a step on him and just overthrew him. There was Parker Meldrum, and that had 6 written all over it, as it was, I believe that was Luke Evans who got beat there. He was up playing some bump and run coverage, Chris, and I just think Fautau beat him.
Yeah, Fautau was able to get past that bump and then run right past him. Now Fautau's had a couple where it's just been half a step out of his reach, or he might have a couple of long touchdowns tonight.
We'll have to keep an eye on that matchup as it goes, as the game goes on. That might be a matchup they go back to. Similar matchup to the bottom of your screen right here. 3rd down and 10. Back to throw with some time. Meldrum now being chased. He'll just throw it towards the sideline. Incomplete. There was a receiver in the vicinity, so that will bring up 4th down, and this might be territory, Chris, where you may see Cyprus go for it.
Yeah, I think in this situation with just 1:22 to go, punting, it could net you some if you're able to pin him down, but if you punt it out, you only gain 12 yards in that situation.
I think we have a timeout, Spanish Fork here. The Dons, I think
if you're the Dons, you want to keep that heavy pressure, but also watch for that screen, because that really set up Cyprus with this great field position. Or really move it down near the red zone is when Lester broke loose there.
It was a timeout, Cyprus Pirates here with 1:22. Next week, we got another good one for you here on Spanish Fork 17. 7 p.m. kickoff like normal. We'll be up in Provo. It will be Spanish Fork against the Provo Bulldogs. A tough test for Spanish Fork, Chris, to open up Region 8 play.
Yeah, and that'll be a huge test, hopefully, for Provo, too. But Provo was picked to win the region. Spanish Fork's a little young this season, but, still have to play 48 minutes of football, so that'll be a huge game here on SF17 next week.
So we'll see here what happens. 4th down and 10 coming up for Cyprus. They need the 22. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Back to throw. Meldrum stepping up. Now he will go down in the backfield almost. Molstein and company get to him for a 2 Jacks Pizza quarterback sack and a turnover on downs.
Yeah, great job by Mulestein getting there, holding on, and letting the rest of his friends help him make that huge 2 Jacks sack.
I believe Brendan Cabreros also. I think really the whole defensive line there really just converged there on the stop. And now with 1:14, give Spanish Fork the ball in pretty good field position. 60 yards to get to the end zone, and probably looking at about 40 yards for at least a field goal attempt. Back to throw with some time. Caden Holt going deep, looking for Olsen. That one's going to go incomplete. Coming over the top was number 21, Kerry Butler. And Butler timed that one just right, a split second early there, Chris, and that might have been 15.
Yeah, great job by Butler, making sure he put his hands up, showed he was kind of playing the ball, but definitely did not touch the receiver, Olsen, that time.
2nd down and 10 for Spanish Fork from their own 40-yard line. 4 wide receivers, back to throw. Holt looking towards the sideline. That one incomplete. Looking for Davidson. And now bring up 3rd down. Caden Holt looks like there was some miscommunication or something, looking over towards the sideline. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, 3rd and 10 here. And so far 2 incompletions for Spanish Fork. And if Cyprus gets a stop here, they might have another chance, as they're still at 1:05, and Cyprus has 1 timeout.
We've had a really quick first half, probably up until about the last 4 minutes or so. And then it's kind of been a little more slower than what we've seen. Here's Holt looking towards the sideline. That one's, I thought, was picked off. There's a penalty flag that comes in. That was Fautau to the top, and I think they're going to get Fautau there for some passing.
I think it's going to be on Spanish Fork. Because Fautau was going to make a play on the ball, but number 1, Corbin Harrison, turned into defender. And
they're talking to Cyprus, so Chris, I think you're right. You don't see that offensive pass interference a ton, but here you will see it against Spanish Fork. They'll decline the penalty and bring up 4th down.
And great job by Harrison, even though he interfered, making sure that ball didn't get picked. So I think Spanish Fork's got to be wary here on this punt. I think Cyprus will try and bring some pressure.
Dropping back deep, Fautau. Caden Holt running onto the field here, and I think Spanish Forks have to use a timeout. I think they were late getting somebody on the field, and the Dons will talk about it here with 1:01 to play before the first half. 14-13, Cyprus on top of Spanish Fork. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. Week 3 of high school football already the second time we're seeing Spanish Fork here on Spanish Fork 17. Your first time seeing the Dons. What's been your impression so far through the first half?
I think so far they doesn't look like they're the biggest Spanish Fork team I've seen, but they're definitely quick, athletic, and look like they're going to give some teams some trouble this season. And also I've been very impressed with Holt's arm thus far in the game. And like I said, it seems like they've got a lot of playmakers as we've seen multiple receivers make plays tonight.
So it'll be 4th down and 10 coming up. Caden Holt ran in late onto the play.
And I think they just ran him in there because somebody wasn't paying attention on the bench.
And Caden Holt's been kind of all over the field in his Spanish Fork career for the Dons. And now it will be Cade Olson back deep to punt. He's going to run it, and he's going to take off. He's going to try to fake it. Does he have enough down the sideline? Gets hit hard at the last minute, and I think he's going to be short. I don't think he got the first down, but hit hard on the opposite sideline.
Looks like a Steiner or something to his shoulders. He's having a hard time holding his arm up.
You have to kind of like the attempt right there. There's another Don down.
That is
Cade Olson, yeah.
Yeah. He tried to walk it off, but man, he got hit hard, as you mentioned, Ryan, and took one right to the shoulder, and he's struggling to keep that arm up.
The good news is, with 54 seconds before the half, you'll have an opportunity. You may just see Cade Olson just go straight back into the locker room, and right here as he took a very heavy hit. 54 seconds to play here in the first quarter, or here in the first half, 14-13 lead here for our guests from Cyprus, making the trip down for Magna. Not an easy travel trip today for the Cyprus Pirates, Chris. One bus got here. The other 2 buses, well, they got delayed and stuck in traffic a little bit coming down from Magna.
Yeah, when I left Thanksgiving Point this evening, a little after 5, there was 2 accidents, and it really took me quite a while to get here, and I ran home real quick and changed. But outside of that, I didn't have much spare time to get here myself, and I live here in town. So hopefully Olson's all right, and it's just one of those hard hits that just takes you a few minutes to get over, but we'll see. Let's take a minute here to thank our sponsors on Spanish Fork 17. We'd like to thank the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jack's Pizza, Mikhail Thompson and Hunter Attorneys at Law, and the Driggs Mortgage Team. We'd like to thank this sponsors for being with us this season as we have some exciting high school football games on Spanish Fork 17.
It's about a 10-game regular season or so. This is week 3, Chris. So we're almost a third of the way through already. And the next about 6-7 weeks will go by really quick.
Yeah, I can't believe we're in week 3 already.
First down and 10 coming up. Cyprus has the ball at the Spanish Fork 44-yard line. Meldrum back to throw, stepping up. Now is going to drop it off into the flat. Has his man. That's Orozco, who has another first down.
Yeah, and Orozco's been one of the 2 big targets this game for the Cyprus Pirates.
Biggest thing there is it stops the clock with 4 to 8 seconds. Cyprus with only 1 timeout remaining. They'll start the clock now, down to 45 and running.
And every time I look down there, I almost want to call them the Orem Tigers, as Cyprus uniforms looks very similar to some of the Orem schemes of the past.
Meldrum ready to go. Back to throw with some time, taking a shot down, has a guy one-on-one, but overthrew Fahatau. And there's a penalty flag back in the backfield around the 42, kind of in the area of either a late hit or a hold.
And the officials are quick to call a hold. And we'll see 28.9, Spanish Fork looks to take the yardage here and push Cyprus back.
They'll back it up to about the... They're going to start walking it off from the 41, so should put them back at around the 49-yard line or so.
And Cyprus can really only go to the middle of the field one time, as they have one time out. And wow, they're clear back at the 49.
They're at their own 49-yard line. And a field goal here, they would need to at least get probably a decent attempt. And I mean decent, I mean probably the 20. They would need pretty close to a first down to have a decent attempt. You're looking at probably 25 yards to have at least a shot. Back to throw, Meldrum back to throw, stepping up. Now he's going to try to take off in the pocket, scrambling. He'll be hit and go down at around the 47-yard line or so. And I think Cyprus is going to use their final timeout here with 20.8 seconds to go here before halftime.
And great job by that whole Spanish Fork defensive line there, as they got a lot of pressure that time, and that forced the run there, and Cyprus to use their last timeout. So if you're Spanish Fork here, you just have to get one more stop here inbounds, and that'll pretty much end the half.
And what you have to kind of wonder in some ways, Chris, is if you may not, if you're, part of me kind of wonders if you may not see Cyprus maybe go back to that screenplay or something just to try to see what they can get. Maybe just let the clock get to halftime.
Yeah, and that's not the worst thing that can happen. Obviously, the worst thing is a turnover that leads to a score for Spanish Fork. So maybe a conservative play call. You do have a 1-point lead. If you're Cyprus, you do get the ball to start the second half. Why not just play a little conservative here?
So we'll see. 20.8 on the clock, about ready to come out of the timeout. 14-13 lead for the Cyprus Pirates on top of the Spanish Fork Dons. Here as we get ready to move under the lights here on a Friday night in Spanish Fork. The last Friday night in August.
And Cyprus just might roll it out here to the near side of the screen and just throw it towards the end zone.
Back to throw, looking towards the sideline, has a man, that's caught. And I believe that goes back to Orozco, number 10.
And Orozco was the only guy on that receiver on that side of the field as they drew the attention to the other side with three guys lined up on this side.
And they get out of bounds, so that'll bring up a 4th down and 12. So they'll have a shot. And I guess really, realistically, they could pick up a first down here and have a shot at a field goal.
Yeah, if you pick up the first down, you definitely, if it doesn't go out of bounds, you want to go spike that ball in a hurry.
4 wide receivers back to throw. Meldrum with some time gets hit as he throws, diving and trying to come up with it, but that one goes incomplete. A nice diving attempt there. And that'll be a turnover on downs. Gives the ball back to Spanish Fork with 8 seconds to play here in the half. We'll see what Spanish Fork draws up, but it wouldn't be surprising to me if you just see Spanish Fork take a knee.
Yeah, and that, or maybe just run a more conservative play up the middle, see if you can get some yards. But yeah, great pressure that time by Mulestein and Cababros as they made sure that play went nowhere.
Right here, kind of interesting. Brendan Cabreros in the backfield. Coy Birmingham running on late. 8 seconds to play here. Caden Holt back to throw with some time. Cabreros in there as an extra blocker. Holt rolling out, lets one fly as deep as he can, and that one is going to be, I believe it might have been intercepted. It's going to go incomplete, and that will end the first half. We've reached the end of one here from Spanish Fork. Cyprus 14, Spanish Fork 13 here on Spanish Fork 17.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson, and Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Hi, welcome to Two Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
And now, please welcome to the field your state champion Spanish Fork drill team. Tonight, they will be performing their camp dance routine. We would like to introduce you to our captains. Azure Talbot, Bailey Sanderson, Piper Hess, McLean Gordon, and J.E. Uliberry. Give it up for your Las Chulitas drill team. And now, welcome to your field, your Spanish Fork Cheerleaders. They're nationally ranked.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage Team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson, and Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Well, here at halftime, a 14-13 lead right now for the Cyprus Pirates on top of the Spanish Fork Dons. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst here at the half. And an opportunity here. Chris, we weren't really sure what kind of game we would get. Last year we had kind of an offensive shootout. Tonight, though, it's kind of been a battle of field position and which teams are able to make big plays.
Yeah, and so far Spanish Fork's had a couple of big plays that have one in particular was a 70-yard touchdown pass from Holt to Cade Olson. We saw Cade Olson get hurt right before the half, and we'll have to see if he comes back. That's by far been the biggest play. But both teams have, once they got down in the red zone, have been able to score a couple of times. And really the difference is that extra missed PAT by Spanish Fork there after their first touchdown.
Yeah, really one of those interesting things. Sometimes we've seen it before, Chris, where those missed extra points really come back to hurt teams. When I think it was Spanish Fork a few years, maybe 3 years ago, lost a game to Orem here, 25-22, and partially because of 3 missed extra points.
Yeah, and those come back to bite you. And also both teams had opportunities right before the half to score one last time, and neither team was able to take advantage of it. So we get a good look at the band there, and Cyprus coming all the way down from Magna didn't really feel the opposite sides of the stands. But, man, with the traffic for Labor Day this weekend, it's a tough drive down here.
It's a tough drive on Labor Day weekend, and we're glad, though, everybody who might be traveling tonight is joining us on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17, or online on sfcn.org by hitting the Watch Live button right here. Let's take a look at some scores from throughout the region, really, tonight. Springville taking on Bountiful, 6-0 Red Devils. That one's at the half. Talk about another big one when it comes to that RPI right now. Everybody in Region 8 probably rooting for Springville to go beat Bountiful.
Yeah, since you're going to play those other Region 8 teams, you want them all to do well.
Just looking through, we have, of course, our game here. American Leadership Academy, they're at home for Emory tonight. They're losing 13-6, but that one reported back earlier on in the first quarter. Just kind of looking around. Salem Hills up on Juab 10-0. That one, second quarter, approaching halftime or so. Timpanogos and Maple Mountain, a 7-6 lead for the Timberwolves. That one, I believe, is up in Orem.
It is. It's up there in Orem. And like we mentioned, if you're a Spanish Fork Don, I don't know if you always want to cheer for the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, but you want to, or the Springville Red Devils, but you want those teams to win these non-region games to help your opponent's winning percentage, which is 20% of the RPI this season.
Richfield beating Payson 7-3. That one close to the half.
That would be a huge loss for Richfield. I believe is a couple classifications down.
We talked about Provo, the opponent we'll see next week here on Spanish Fork 17 for Spanish Fork, trying to get over their, I think it's a 29-year losing streak to Timpview. Timpview up 13-0 on Provo. As you see the setting sun here tonight, well, next week the sun will rise again on Friday night for high school football. And just kind of one other quick one here. Wasatch leading Beaumont 10-0. That one at the end of the first. And then, I think that's the only other one. Really a game that affects Region 8 here tonight. But right here, boy, that
is got fire up in the Bountiful area, maybe a couple others, but it sure makes for a beautiful sunset with that red sky in the background.
Right here as we get ready to approach halftime. Let's go ahead if we can. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll recap our Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Our heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game. We'll get you ready for the second half here on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage Team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson, and Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Well, Sweet Caroline playing here at Spanish Fork High School at the half, and Adam and Spencer, well, they're getting into it up above us here at the half. running camera tonight. They're in sync. Adam was right there, kind of hitting the note right when he was supposed to.
Well, let's put it this way. They're a lot better dancers than Ryan and I would be, for sure. Big shout-out to Adam and Spencer on the cameras.
As we get ready, Spanish Fork about ready to take the field. Of course, our director, Pete Hansen, tonight, and our good friend Travis back in the Spanish Fork 17 studios tonight. Our whole crew here making this broadcast possible here. And Chris, let's talk. Spanish Fork in that first half really answered every time Cyprus made the big play to get the lead. Spanish Fork found a way to come back and score. But you'd like to see Spanish Fork, Chris, find a way to make a play to get this lead here in the third quarter.
You're right. They have answered both times Cyprus has scored, but in order to win, you've got to be the aggressor here. So if you're Spanish Fork, it's going to be key to be able to stop Cyprus at the start of this second half, see if they can get the ball back with good field position and possibly take the lead. In any football game, the first few minutes of the third quarter definitely sets the tone for the rest of the game and the majority of the time. So I think it's key for Spanish Fork to get the stop. And Ryan, let's take a look at the keys to the game.
Yeah, the keys to the game. First one, continue to be efficient in the passing game. We got to win the turnover battle and be special on special teams, Chris. Some of that first half with them.
Yeah, so I think the passing game, outside of a couple of drops, they really haven't had any interceptions thrown and have been efficient. They had that huge pass to Caden Olson for 77 yards to get 6 points there. The turnover battle, we did have one fumble earlier in the game, and Cyprus, I think, was able to get back on that. And so I'm not aware of any turnovers. And then be special on special teams. I'll tell you who's doing that tonight, and that's been Cyprus's number 45, Tua, who's had some great punt returns that have set up both the Cyprus touchdowns. So I think Spanish Fork needs to answer the call there on special teams.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. We're about a minute or so away from kickoff right here. For Spanish Fork to win this game, Chris, what do the Dons have to do here in the third and fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think they've got to continue to play great pass defense. They haven't been beat too big by any long passes, but then they've got to figure out a way to keep Lester in check. We'll see if Lester, number 32 for Cyprus, is the type of guy that gets stronger as the game goes, or if the Dons are able to slow him down. And then on offense, I think they got to continue to throw the ball well. And Caden Holt's been very efficient so far in the first half. So it should be a very good ball game based on what we've seen in the first half, and could come down to the last play of the game.
14-13 lead. Pirates get the football to get ready to start the third quarter. If you're just joining us, Spanish Fork in the red tops, white pants. Cyprus in the white top and yellow pants with the yellow helmets. We do want to give a very special welcome to Ann Dart, who's watching us here tonight on Spanish Fork 17. We get set and ready to go. Settle in for a good second half right here on SFCN 17. And it's not Cade Olson who's kicking off. And that one will go deep and into the end zone, as it was number 21, Seth Wilkins, who kicked that one into the end zone.
Great kick by Wilkins as it goes into the end zone. And so Cyprus will start at the 20. You know, interesting, in the collegiate level, they start at the 25, and also you can fair catch a kick in the collegiate level now and get it in the 25, whether it's in the end zone or not. So
it has to be within the 5, right?
I'm not 100% sure on that rule, but we'll have to see if the high school level adapts that at some point. It's curious because it seems like either the pros or college does something and then high school shortly follows, and a lot of that's for safety.
Meldrum ready to go. Here's the reverse. They're going to throw it. It's Fahata who tried to throw it, but he is brought down in the backfield. Morgan Moulstein getting there, number 7.
And great coverage downfield by Brad Stevens, as he was not fooled that time by the reverse pass attempt, as he stuck right with number 10 for Cyprus, Orozco.
It's going to be it's a kind of a high-risk, high-reward play, and And it's now 2nd and 19 to start the second half here for the Cyprus Pirates.
Yeah, big gamble by the Cyprus play calling there, and it ends up biting them.
Meldrum ready to go. Here's the give straight up the middle. Lester on the carry. Had some good runs in the first half. He'll get a good chunk back there on second down, and that's going to bring up third and about eight or so.
Yeah, 3rd and 8 for Cyprus, and it's traditionally a passing situation. I wouldn't be shocked if they go back to the screen at some time in this second half, just because Spanish Fork is up trying to put so much pressure on the quarterback Meldrum.
It'll be 3rd down and 9 coming up. They're looking for the 30-yard line to convert. Meldrum back to throw, rolling away, gets it out there. It's caught, and then immediately Brendan Cabreros was right there for the stop. And that was Herzog, number 34, on the catch.
Yeah, great 3 and out by the defense. They've done their part, and Spanish Fork should get the ball with great field position. Now, Elias Davidson's going back to take this kick, and as I looked on the sideline, I believe Cade Olson has his uniform off, has a sling on his shoulder and some ice there, so it looks like he's probably going to be out for the rest of this ball game.
Here's the punt. Meldrum gets a good punt off. Davidson will call fair catch at around the 43-yard line of Spanish Fork. So the Dons with pretty good field position, but like you said, you lose Cade Olson, who is a big part of your offense, Chris. Now you got to find somebody that can step up.
Yeah, and they've had multiple guys catch the ball, but I'm wondering if it might be Corbin Harrison, the senior's time to shine. Look for number 1. He's on the far side of the field, lined up as a wide receiver.
First down play, it's Caden Holt who keeps it, gets outside. He's going to pick up about 7, hit right around midfield. A nice job there from the senior quarterback, Caden Holt.
And it looks like Spanish Fork, especially Holt in particular, has a lot of energy to start this second half. And I've seen at the high school level the team that just comes out with a little more energy like the defense did sometimes can win these ball games.
The clock will go pretty quick in the second half. 9:38 to play here in the third quarter. Back to throw. Holt with some time. Pump fakes. Steps up, throws, has his man out there. That's caught over towards the sideline. That's Elias Davidson, number 2.
And Davidson, another senior, just ran that little drag route and eventually was found by Holt. And Spanish Fork has all the momentum starting this third quarter.
So it'll be 1st and 10, ball placed at the Cyprus 33-yard line. Holt ready to go in the pistol. Here's Tayson Reed on the carry. He breaks free to the 10. Still on his feet. Brought down around the 10-yard line. Nice job there for Reed. A nice pickup of about 13 yards. And, Chris, that's kind of what you want to see from Reed if he can get going as you get ready to start Region 8 play.
Yeah, that was pretty good blocking downfield. Reed got that play started by breaking and tackle early on, as we see on the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group instant replay. And Spanish Fork is back in the Driggs Mortgage Team red zone.
An opportunity to try to finish this drive off with 6 and take the lead. Here's Holt rolling away. Now rolls back to his right, throws end zone, but just throws it out of reach for Corbin Harrison. And that will bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Corbin Harrison comes up with it. Unfortunately, he ran out of bounds a couple yards earlier, but that play might be available. And great job by Holt keeping that play alive and finding somebody downfield to avoid the sack, if nothing else.
I was impressed there, I think, with Angel Gonzalez for Cyprus, because he was one-on-one with Caden Holt, and instead of going right at him where Holt could maybe get around him, he held contained, did a really nice job with the feet of Holt. Holt gets it out quickly. That one incomplete. Looking for Worthen, number 19.
And that'll bring up 3rd down. And this is an interesting situation for Spanish Fork because their kicker, Cade Olson, he's on the sideline with the sling on, unfortunately. And so it might be 4-down territory, or do they have somebody else that can attempt a field goal in this point? Because a field goal would give them a 2-point lead, and that's huge at this juncture in the ball game.
The tough part with the second half, especially with a team like Cyprus who's ran the ball well, you don't know how many possessions you'll get necessarily in that second half.
Yeah, that's right, Ryan.
Here's Holt looking to throw on the slant, looking for, I believe, Swayze. That one incomplete. Helmet came off, and in comes a penalty flag. And this might give Spanish Fork an automatic first down.
Yeah, Swayze took quite the hit. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I'm 95% sure it's on Cyprus.
The official's talking about it right here. Still no signal yet from the officials as to Spanish Fork, because they were ready to break the huddle. Now we'll see here what our official calls. It's going to be a personal foul, hit to the head against Cyprus. And I think they're going to place the ball at the 3.
They'll play. It's half a distance, so it's going to the 5 from the 10. And then
third, it must. The official went something with 3, so I don't know.
It's third down. They're replaying third down.
So here it is from the 5. Here is Tayson Reed trying to get to the close to the end zone. He's short, maybe a half a yard. And I think right now, if you're Spanish Fork, this is a no-brainer. I think you have to go for it.
You go for it. Your other option is you're really close to kick a field goal, but if you just run it up the middle here or don't lose anything on a rollout play, Cyprus has to go 98, 99 yards to score a touchdown.
Spanish Fork going for it. 4th and goal from the 1. Holt in the pistol. Reed the back. They'll give it Reed looking to try to get in, and he's in. Touchdown, Spanish Fork. The Dons have their first lead of the night.
And that's absolutely what Spanish Fork needed to do in this third quarter. They get Cyprus to go out 3 and out. They drive the ball nearly 60 yards there, and they punch it in for 6.
19-14. And Spanish Fork looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field and go for 2. Caden Holt back in there at quarterback. Tayson Reed right behind him. 4 wide receivers back to throw. Over the middle, looking at the goal line. It's caught by Worthen. He's in for 2.
Yeah, great job by Worthen. He barely got in the end zone that time, and that'll make it 21-14 for the Dons. And Reed, with that 1-yard run, has his second touchdown of the night as he had a 2-yard catch earlier in the game from Holt. So he's got 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. And Spanish Forks looks like they're the team that wants to win this ball game.
So they'll get ready to kick, and for the first time tonight, they have the lead, Chris, which really kind of helps things here. If you're that Spanish Fork defense, you got a big stop, you get 6, well, you end up getting 8, really, at the end of the day. But now that's going to put Cyprus, I think, in maybe a position of feeling some urgency to try to get some momentum back.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe Spanish Fork's just a second-half team, because last week it was 7-7 against Cedar Valley at the half, and they ended up winning that 42-14. Cyprus comes into this game 0-2, but they've been in a couple close battles against some teams in the same classification as them.
Adrian Banuelos back deep for the Pirates. He's standing back his own goal line. Once again, we're going to see Seth Wilkins handle the kicking duties, or at least the kickoff duties here for Spanish Fork. Wilkins has the ball teed up on the 40, and this one goes deep and into the end zone, which will come out to the 20-yard line. And the Cyprus Pirates looking to try to see what they can do here, now trailing by 7.
And if you're Cyprus, you got to worry about going 3 and out again and getting your defense back on the field. Spanish Fork ran into 3 and out, and then thanks to good field position, Cyprus was able to capitalize it in the first half. So if you're Cyprus, you got to worry about maybe not scoring points here, but at least taking some time off the clock and letting your defense get a rest by picking up a couple first downs.
1st and 10, ball on the 20-yard line for the Pirates. It will be Meldrum to throw. That one incomplete. What goes off the foot, it looks like, of Jacob Moore. And that one incomplete, brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, that ricocheted off Moore's foot, and I thought maybe somebody might be able to come up with that one.
Spanish Fork, I don't believe they have not forced a turnover tonight. Yeah, the only turnover I believe was, In fact, I don't think we've had a turnover.
We've had a fumble, but I believe the same team picked it up that fumbled it.
Back to throw quickly. They get it out into the flat right there immediately on the stop. Believe that was Luke Evans as Fahatau made the catch. I'm sorry, that was not Evans.
Hernandez.
That was Jeffrey Hernandez.
Yeah, and Hernandez shot in like a rocket that time and made sure Fahatau went nowhere.
And now bring up third down and about 10, maybe 11 here for Cyprus.
If your Spanish Fork continue to put pressure on Mildrum, because he hasn't been handling it well lately.
3 receivers to your top of your screen at home. Meldrum tries to set up the screen pass. Lester makes the catch, but Rupena right there to bring him down, and that will bring up 4th down. And again, Spanish Fork will lose a few yards, or sorry, Cyprus loses a few yards and will have to punt from deep in their own end zone.
And great job by the defense attacking Rupena that time, recognizing that the play is going to be a screen pass and making sure it goes nowhere, where earlier in the ball game, one of the largest plays from scrimmage Cyprus had was a similar play.
And now Spanish Fork will get good field position. Jacob Moore back up to about his own 48-yard line. Meldrum just kicks this one straight to the side. It's going to go out inside the 30. I mean, it's going to be about a net punt of about 20 yards, Chris. That one almost came directly beeline to us. They'll mark it out at around the 27-yard line and prime field position for Spanish Fork to start this drive.
Yeah, that ball just went off the side of Mildrum's foot. And 2 3 and outs for Cyprus. Spanish Fork has the ball in great field position. They really could mentally take Cyprus out of this ball game if they're able to score on this possession.
First down and 10 for Spanish Fork. An opportunity here for the Dons. We'll see if maybe Spanish Fork maybe takes a shot here on first down. Back to throws. There's Swayze on the catch. Hit immediately. He'll pick up about 5 yards or so. And right there, just kind of going back to that one-on-one matchup on the outside.
Yeah, and Swayze, 6'3", uses his big body to go up there, make a great catch, and pick up about half of what they needed on first down.
J.J. Underwood, the cornerback, covering Swayze. That matchup to the very bottom of your screen at home. Just maybe a little out of your picture right now. Here's Holt, drops it off. Here's Davidson. He gets tripped up.
A little shoestring tackle, just enough to slow Davidson down there. That's the old run-pass option. They're calling it RPO these days, and the Dons ran that to perfection. As it's just a shoestring tackle by Tia that time.
It's first and goal for the Dons. Back in the Prime Mortgage Lending red zone.
Driggs Mortgage Team red zone. New year, new sponsors.
Got going on autopilot. That one incomplete.
Yeah, so if you have any mortgage needs, maybe you're in the red zone of buying that house, go look up the Driggs Mortgage Team.
Now bring up second and goal from the 9. After the incomplete pass, right here, trying to see if they can punch it in. You see a nice graphic at the top of your screen at home. Here we go, second and goal from the 9. Spanish Fork trying to punch it in. Here's the give. It's Reed straight up the middle, trying to bulldoze his way closer to the end zone. A penalty flag comes in at the end of the play there, right around the 5. And this is kind of one of those interesting ones, Chris, but kind of in the area of a face mask.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that's what happened, or was it a helmet to helmet. I didn't see anything on that replay.
I don't know if right here is now it's going to be a face mask against Cyprus. And that should put it half a distance, I believe, from the 5, probably at the end of the run. Probably put it 2.5, 3 yard line or so.
Yeah, and that might have been just out of on the other angle from our camera, a small face mask. It's not a personal foul one, though.
Here we go, second down and goal. Spanish Fork trying to push it in. It's Rupena who tries to go towards the end zone. He's just a yard short.
Yeah, Rupena, the freshman defensive lineman, gets his first carry of the game.
They'll bring up third and goal. They'll get it down to about the 2 yard line, and I think we're going to have a timeout. I think Cyprus
And Cyprus's coaching staff must recognize how critical this possession is in this juncture of the ball game, and uses their first time out of the half to give their defense a break and maybe strategize on how they can stop the Dons.
5:32 to go here in this one.
5:32 to go. Spanish Fork, 3rd down and 2, looking to take a 2-possession lead. So,
and really kind of one of those things. Next week, we got another fun one for you here on Spanish Fork 17. We hit the road, Chris. We get a road trip to Provo.
Road trip to Provo. It actually will be a shorter drive home for me tomorrow, so I'll probably just stop at Provo instead of coming all the way home. But should be a good game nonetheless. Earlier, we saw that Provo was losing 13-0 to Timpview, and they haven't beaten Timpview. You think the BYU-Utah streak's on. I believe it's 29 consecutive losses.
And usually they play once a year. So you're talking about a very long losing streak there. And we'll see. Provo may have to wait another year to have a shot at that one here. But they'll be ready to go next week for that one for sure. Here we go. First, 3rd and goal from the 1. Holt rolls out looking for the end zone. Stops, cuts back, and now tucks it up in the middle, and he's going to go down.
Yeah. I was going to say Holt was looking for his wide receiver who had slipped on the play.
I think it was Elias Davidson who slipped, and now it's 4th down, and this is where, you may have been wanting to try and see here if you would kick a field goal, but right now the question is right here without Cade Olson, you're probably going to go for it here on 4th down.
And Rapenia's in the backfield.
Joined by Caden Holt. Holt back to throw, looking for the fade route. That one's caught. Touchdown, Gabe Oldham. And Spanish Fork goes up 2 scores.
Gabe Oldham, they list him at 6'7". He used all 6'7" inch and pass interference. Was able to fight through the pass interference there by the Cyprus defender to come down with it, as really J.J. Underwood had no answer for Oldham's height that time.
That penalty will be declined. The touchdown is good, and Spanish Fork is an extra point away right here from going up 2 touchdowns on Cyprus here in the 3rd quarter.
And for Olson, or for Holt, Caden Holt here, that's his 3rd touchdown pass of the game to 0 interceptions. He's been very efficient.
Dons are going to go for 2. Caden Holt staying out there. The 2-point conversion could make it a 15-point game and really puts a lot of pressure on Cyprus.
And they might be forced with Cade Olson being out of this game to do this.
Ready to go right here. They send Worthen in motion, and penalty flags come in. And we're going to get a legal procedure call against Spanish Fork. And that is going to move the try back to the 8, which in some ways helps you if you're Spanish Fork, Chris. Gives you a little more room to operate.
Gives you more room to operate, especially if you want to throw something back towards the back of the end zone. If you were trying to maybe do one of those short passes to a receiver coming across the field, it might make it a little harder.
So right here, we'll see what they're going to do. Holt back to throw, slant route, looking for Corbin Harrison. That one incomplete. J.J. Underwood knocked it down for Cyprus, and it will be a 13-point ball game with 4:46 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Let's take a moment on Spanish 417 to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We got the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Thompson and Hunter Attorneys at Law, and the Driggs Mortgage Team. We thank them for making this broadcast possible each and every Friday night. We want to welcome those watching on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. To keep up with your latest shows, live broadcasts, look to youtube.com/SpanishFork17.
Yeah, and so far it's been all Spanish Fork here in the 2nd half, as they have 14 points. And Cyprus has gone 3 and out on both of their offensive possessions. And really, the time of possession is we're about 7.5 minutes into this quarter has been all Spanish Fork.
The kick will go short. It will not be Banuelos on the return. Getting the return and getting ahead of steam by getting tripped up was number 22, Robbie Balboa. It was, I believe, McKay Perry, a sophomore defensive back, who tripped up Balboa.
Yeah. So for Cyprus, though, I think they got to get something going, and I wonder if they go back to the ground and try and have a little patience with the running game, because they have not been very successful when they went to try and throw it through the air in this half.
It really seemed like in the first half, Chris, that running game set up the passing game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Lester on first down, trying to get outside, cuts it up through the middle. I believe it was Gabe Oldham from behind who got him. Now we'll bring up second down.
Yeah, second down and about 5 to go here. So Cyprus, well, actually they're going to give him 6 on that run. So, you know, if you're Cyprus, you might want to just keep it on the ground and see if you can't have Lester break one here.
Second down and about 3 coming up. 4:08 to go in the third quarter. 3 wide receivers on the play. Again, it's Lester this time going off the tackles. Got the first down across the 45-yard line. And that's going to be a Pirate first down here. And this is the first time tonight, Chris, Cyprus, they've had the lead the entire ball game.
Right up until the Spanish Fork scored on their first drive of the third quarter, but they're down 2 possessions, so the mindset changes here, and I think Cyprus just was trying to win it through the air, and they just really have dominated the line of scrimmage, so they need to get back to the ground game like they have been on this drive.
Here is Lester, cuts it up through the middle again. We'll pick up 5 yards or so on first down. And really, if you're Cyprus and if you can get 5 yards a carry, you're sitting pretty good in that running game.
Yeah, and they're just straight out zone blocking. There's not really any guards or tackles pulling for Cyprus. They're just old-fashioned smash mouth football, and we'll see if Spanish Fork can have an answer here.
2nd and 5, ball right on the 50-yard line. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Here is Meldrum straight up the head on the quarterback draw. He will have pretty close, and they're going to say the ball came loose. Spanish Fork says they got it, and they do. Spanish Fork football.
And just as Cyprus is able to get some momentum here, they put the ball on the ground. Let's see who comes up with a great hit by Moore that time.
I think it's Jacob Moore who knocked the ball loose.
And then Brad Stevens picks it up for the Dons, and that's the first turnover of the game, which is in of itself impressive for week 3 of high school football.
Mikel Thompson and Hunter attorneys at law, great defensive play. And right now, an opportunity here for Spanish Fork to potentially maybe give the knockout blow to Cyprus here on this possession.
Well, Cyprus scored 4 or 5 touchdowns last year in the fourth quarter, so got to play all 48 minutes, but you're right. This really could put the game nearly out of reach.
Caden Holt ready to go. Back to throw. We're going to see a double pass. It's Caden Holt on the second throw. Has a man out there, and it's going to be incomplete. And that will bring up second down.
Yeah, great job by Foatau running back there after the trick play looked like it was going to work and breaking up that pass play.
Caden Holt was the intended, sorry, not Caden Holt, Corbin Harrison was the intended receiver. We saw Zach Dart, I think, took the snap and then got it back to Caden Holt. Holt's coming off the field. Zach Dart in for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, Dart's going to stay on, and it looks like Holt might be getting looked at by the trainer there. I don't know if it's necessarily an injury or if they're looking at his helmet.
I believe that's Rory Irene down there on the sideline, trainer for Spanish Fork. And Dart will be back to throw. Looking, has a man, makes a diving attempt, incomplete, they're going to say. However, on the attempted catch, that was Jace Gunter, number 16.
And Jace Gunter just was diving, and that's a difficult catch to make when you're outstretched, and unfortunately wasn't able to come away with a clean catch.
And Gunter was saying, hey, he was looking over his coach saying, hey, I caught that.
And he might have. It looked very close.
So here it is, 3rd down and 10, ready to go right here for Spanish Fork. Caden Holt back to throw with some time. Looking, there's a penalty flag that comes in, and that pass is going to be incomplete, looking for Corbin Harrison. We'll see what the penalty flag, it's kind of in the area of a hold, and we'll see here what the penalty is going to be.
And it looks like it's on Spanish Fork, but Holt was back in at quarterback, and boy, you get Holt and Dart, their jerseys look almost identical.
They'll decline the penalty against the Dons. That will make it 4th down. And I think the punt team's going to come on here for Spanish Fork. Which will send back Isaiah Fuatau, who's had a great night in the return game. Caden Holt with the punt off the left foot. It's a shorter kick. Fuatau runs up and will make the fair catch call at the 25-yard line. So decent field position for Cyprus with 2:41 to go in the 3rd quarter, trailing 27-14. You have to like the way the Spanish Fork Dons have played here in the 3rd quarter, Chris.
Yeah, they've absolutely dominated this game outside of that last 3 and out. But if you're Cyprus, you're able to get a couple of first downs on your last drive and then also kind of flip the field a little bit, but you did prevent Spanish Fork from scoring on that last drive, so we'll see if they can get something going here. But the fumble that last time by Meldrum really derailed their drive.
Meldrum and Lester in the backfield, and it will be Meldrum straight ahead on 1st down, and Meldrum fights his way ahead for maybe a half a yard of gain, but not very much. Right there, a whole host of Dons there, but I think someone got there first.
Yeah, Mulestein was able to slow him down, and then he got help. I believe that was might have been Pepper, and on the tackle as well.
He'll get about a half yard or so, maybe a full yard, depending on the spot. Brings up 2nd and 9. 3 wide receivers on the play. Back to throw, 3-step drop. That one's complete. Over towards the sideline, and that again is Orozco, number 10, having a good ball game there. He's got to have about 6, maybe 7 catches.
Orozco, yes, and I believe he also has a touchdown here of 19 yards earlier in the first half. But really, Cyprus is just a 2-man show when they're throwing passes. So if you can really key on Orozco, that takes away half of the attack, it feels like.
It's been a quiet night for Isaiah Fuatau, number 40. He's at the bottom of your screen, matched up against Jeffrey Hernandez. Back to throw, looking in the middle. That pass almost intercepted right there for Spanish Fork. I think Hunter Rasmussen was seeing the end zone right there on that one. That brings up 4th down.
And great job by Rasmussen. He drops back in his zone coverage as a linebacker, recognizes his pass, reads the quarterback's eyes, and knocks it down.
So another quick 3 and out for Cyprus here in the 3rd quarter. Jacob Moore back deep to receive the punt at about the 37, his own 37-yard line. Meldrum, the punter, will kick it away, a low line drive kick. Moore may have a shot to return this one. He picks it up at the last second and immediately tackled.
Great coverage that time by Cyprus, and it's hard to catch those low punts, and both punters aren't getting the ball necessarily high in the air.
So 1:49 to go here in the 3rd quarter, 27-14 lead for Spanish Fork. The Dons have really played well here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they have, and 2 out of the 3 drives they had resulted in a touchdown. If they can have a long, sustained drive here, take some time off the clock and get a 3-possession lead, this one might be over.
Ready to go right here. Caden Holt in the pistol formation. Here's the pitch, trying to get outside. Tayson Reed immediately getting there. And Reed, they're able to get back to maybe gets a half a yard depending on the spot.
And not much of a gain there, and really Cyprus has, for the most part, done a good job of stopping the Dons from running.
They'll give him a gain of a yard. He'll get the 35, brings up 2nd and 9. 90 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Here's a give straight up the middle. Caden Holt gets it outside. Davidson on the catch. And that one may have been just a lateral there, but Davidson will get 4 or 5 yards there, and that brings up a 3rd down and about maybe 4 to go.
And that is, the RPO we talked about, that's almost like the triple option of the modern day. You can hand it off to your running back, you can keep the ball yourself and run it, or you can throw it to your receiver on that side. So it really makes the defense be disciplined and have to guard all 3 options on the play.
3rd down and 5 right here, ready to go. Back to throw. Holt steps up, drops it off. Here's Tayson Reed. Breaks 1 tackle, has the 1st down, out to about the 49-yard line for Reed. That will move the chains with 39 seconds to play here in the quarter.
And Herzog, number 34 for Cyprus, has the opportunity to make the tackle, but Reed wants it more. And by breaking that tackle, was able to get upfield and get the 1st down and continue this drive.
Robbie Balboa had to get there to get the stop. Wholesale changes, almost a whole new defensive front line in for Cyprus. 20 seconds to play here in the quarter. And I don't know if we're going to see this ball snapped here in the third quarter or not. It doesn't really give that appearance right here. And Spanish Fork looks content. We're going to go to the fourth quarter. The final few seconds here of the quarter will expire here at the clock at the end of 3. Spanish Fork 27, Cyprus 14. High school football and Spanish Fork 17 comes back after this.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Start of the fourth quarter on Spanish Fork 17. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst as Spanish Fork having a 27-14 lead right here, and they have the ball with a 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line to start the third quarter. A chance here, or to start the fourth quarter, and a chance here to try to use some clock, and they'll do that on 1st down with a run right up the middle with Joshua Buck there on 1st down.
Yeah, and for Spanish Fork, they really dominated that second quarter, as you can see, or third quarter, pardon me, as you can see on the scoreboard, as they scored 14 unanswered points there.
2nd down and 8 right now for Spanish Fork. 2 yards on the carry there for Buck, and now Spanish Fork right here into Cyprus field position. Back to throw. Holt gets it out quickly. Here's Davidson on the catch. Davidson breaks a couple of tackles, has the 1st down, still on his feet, breaks a 2nd tackle, and then finally brought down at around the 28-yard line. Elias Davidson putting together a nice performance here in this one.
Yeah, great 2nd and 3rd effort. Bad snap there. Holt's able to improvise, and then Davidson, as you can see here on the instant replay, breaks 1, 2, and then a 3rd tackle later on down the field. So Cyprus not wrapping up there is what that boils down to.
I thought he might have broken a 4th there, but they just got enough contact there to get him heading down towards the ground. Here is Caden Holt, keeps it at the last minute, tries to drop it off. This one intended for Luke Evans. That one, I believe, was a backwards pass.
And they'll lose a couple yards there. Well, actually, the refs are discussing.
It looked like to me it was pretty clear that it was behind the, it was not a forward. It's not necessarily whether it was behind Well, I guess it is behind the line, but right here. And Spanish Fork's backing up a couple of yards, so I think they will lose about 4 there on that first and 10.
Yeah, and that's the dangerous part of that is when you throw it back as if somehow it stays in bounds and somebody picks it up for the opposing team.
If you throw to the far side of the field, then you have to be. Seen some nightmare situations happen. They're taking a shot, looking for Corbin Harrison. One-on-one coverage, and I think it was picked off. And it was, and they're going to mark it down at the 1-yard line. It was Isaiah Fautau coming up with it at about the 1-yard line right there. Spanish Fork took a shot, so now Cyprus will have to go 99 yards.
They will, and unfortunately for Spanish Fork, that's their first turnover. The good news is, though, Cyprus can't start in any worse field position than the officials aren't calling it a safety. So your Spanish Fork opportunity to possibly get a safety here.
I don't think you could get a better situation if you punted the football with 10:48 to go here in the fourth quarter. 27-14 lead for Spanish Fork. We'll see what Cyprus can do. They're going to have to try to go 99 yards.
And quick update, Maple Mountain has taken the lead at the start of the fourth quarter. They're up 21-13 at Timpanogos.
Here's that big set, the give. Going to go to Lester. He tries to get outside, trying to beat Jacob Moore. He does. He's going to have a first down out across the 10 to about the 14-yard line.
And that's huge. Lester gets him out of the shadow of their own goal or end zone there, and then also gets the first down.
Jadon Lester there. A nice carry right there. They're going to be out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. First down and 10, Cyprus. You have to be. Here's the pitch. Lester with it, trying to be patient, gets outside, not really a lot, makes a nice cut, has now close to a first down. It really didn't look like there was a lot there initially, but Lester able to be patient enough, Chris, to hit the one gap to be able to get close to 10.
And you nailed it right on the head there, Ryan, where patience was the key. He waited for some things to open up, cuts back a little bit, and then, as always, has that forward lean to pick up a few extra yards. And we missed a penalty.
Backing up. There's a false start on the play, so they're going to back them up 5 yards from where they started. So instead of the 16, they'll be back at the 11. It'll be first and 15. And for Cyprus now, the clock's starting to not be your friend, and now you're going to have to try to see if you can find ways to score, Chris, and you're going to have to try to see what you can do quickly. We have a timeout on the field here with 10:06 to play in the fourth quarter. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors here on Spanish Fork 17.
Yeah, we got the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Thompson and Hunter Attorneys at Law, and the Driggs Mortgage Team. We'd like to thank these sponsors for making this broadcast and our future high school football broadcast possible this season. And also check us out on SpanishFork17.com, or YouTube.com/SpanishFork17, or just get on your YouTube app on your phone, put in Spanish Fork 17, like, subscribe, and you'll get a notification if you subscribe when our broadcasts start on this channel, and that includes also civic events.
A lot of good programming here on Spanish Fork 17. It'll be first down and 15 coming up here for Cyprus. Cyprus looking to go here with 10:06 to go right here. And so here's the give right up the middle. There's a penalty flag down.
It looks like it's in the area of a hold, and if that's the case, Cyprus has really self-destructed on the last couple of plays on this drive.
Lester was the ball carrier, and it's a hold against the Pirates, which will now move them back inside their own 10. So 9:55 to go here in the fourth quarter.
I lost my concentration
An
when they made the
an opportunity right here for Spanish Fork to try to see what they can do. 1st and 20 for Cyprus. Meldrum back to throw with some time, taking a shot for it all on 1st down. Has a man out there but overthrew him, and that will bring up 2nd down.
And that looked close to a hold in the end zone. If it is a hold, I believe it's a safety.
And that will make it 2nd down.
Feels like it should be 3rd down due to all the penalties we've had on this drive after they got the 1st down.
2nd down and 20. The dial it down on the far side of the field showing 2nd down. 9:37 to go here in the 4th quarter. 27-14. Spanish Fork trying to hold Cyprus here. See if they can get the ball back in the 4th. Back to throw. It's Lester right up the middle on the draw play. That will get some yards out back to the 11-yard line. So picks up about 5, makes it 3rd and 15.
Yeah, 3rd and 15, and for Cyprus, it might be too early for 4-down territory, but you do not want to punt and give Spanish Fork great field position again.
You'd really like to see if you could pick up a couple of 1st downs and see, but Chris, this is when the clock starts to not be your friend as much here with 9:03 to go here in the 4th quarter. Meldrum back to throw with some time, stepping up, looking one-on-one looking for Fiatau, who can't haul it in.
Well, I don't know where else Fiatau wanted that ball. I'm sure he's going to regret that later, but man, I wonder if fatigue sometimes plays a factor on some of those drops, because Fiatau's been playing pretty much the entire game. I don't think he plays the punts or the kickoffs, and that's about it.
So you really look at it, that's not going to be a lot of snaps that he's not on the field. This is a dangerous situation here. Cyprus Parker Meldrum will punt, and he's about 4 yards deep in his own end zone. He'll get the punt off. Jacob Moore coming up with it. And now it takes a nice Spanish Fork bounce, and it will continue to roll. And it will be down at the 47-yard line of Cyprus with 8 minutes and 43 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. And, Chris, this is where if you're Spanish Fork, now I think you're getting to the point where you take 2 or 3 minutes off and you get in the end zone, and you're going to you might put the finishing touches on this one.
Absolutely. There's a penalty on the field, so that might move Spanish Fork back as well. Because it seems like it's gotten a little bit sloppy the last few plays.
It's going to be, it looks like a block in the back against Spanish Fork.
And spot foul, we'll see how far. It doesn't move it back too much more than it already was. About 7-8 yard loss there in total. Still good field position.
Ball will be, they'll place it back at the Spanish Fork 43-yard line. 4 wide receivers for the Dons right here. Caden ready to go. 4 wide receivers. Here's the screen pass. They get it out. Davidson drops it, and he quickly scoops it back up, but it's going to go incomplete. Brings up 2nd down.
And Holt got rocked that time as he let that ball go. And that's one of the dangerous, when you run that option play, one of the dangerous side effects can be your quarterback takes a lot of shots.
Be 2nd down and 10. Ball back at the 43-yard line. The clock on an incomplete pass does stop. So if you're Cyprus, this is really where you want to get one of those 3 and outs that you got early on in the ball game. Single back set. Tayson Reed in the backfield. He'll take the draw play. Cross the 50, cuts into Cyprus territory, lowers the head, and runs over a defender. He has a 1st down to about the 41-yard line.
Wow, and that draw play worked for perfection as the linebackers drop back into coverage. There's a big hole there, some great blocking, and then Reed does the rest.
So 1st down and 10, 8:17 to go, 4th quarter. Cyprus, it feels like, has been their defense has been on the field a lot here in the 2nd half.
Yeah, they've only picked up a couple of 1st downs.
Straight up ahead, Reed breaks a couple of more tackles. Penalty flag comes in. He'll pick up 7 or so, pending the result of the penalty.
And we'll see if we can pick it up here on the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group instant replay, what it was. Might have been a face mask.
The penalty came in right about the time one of the Spanish Fork linemen, I think, were reaching out to try to get a block, and he might have just gotten some. It's going to be, it looks like a chop block penalty coming here against Spanish Fork. So this is, I believe, a 15-yard penalty, which is going to move it back to almost the original line of scrimmage where they started the drive. Moves it back to the Spanish Fork 45-yard line.
So it's first and about 25-ish.
First down and 25, back at the 45. Ready to go right here. Back to throw. Holt quickly gets it out. Davidson just out of the reach there of Davidson. Brings up second and 25.
And for Spanish Fork, maybe try and get about 5-10 yards here and set up your offense for an opportunity to pick it up on third down. I don't think you want to get all of it here.
Just wonder if you might go back to that draw play.
And
the worst case scenario is you run about 40 seconds off the clock.
Absolutely, yeah.
Holt back to throw with some time, stepping up, looking down the seam, has Corbin Harrison who makes the catch, breaks a tackle before being brought down at the 20, first down Spanish Fork.
I stand corrected. Maybe you should just go get it all on one play. That's a huge catch that time by Corbin Harrison, who was just running a post that time, was able to get in between the corner and safety and pick it up.
Caden Holt had to drop that ball in there with just enough touch. Right there, Chris, to get it in between the two, the corner and the safety. Boy, that was a great throw from Caden Holt.
Yeah, it was, and he put it right where he needed to, like you mentioned, Ryan.
First and 10, back in the Driggs Mortgage Team red zone. 4 wide receivers for the Dons. Here's Holt on the keeper, breaks one. I think did he pitch it out to?
He hung on to it.
Thought I saw the hand move, and I was like, don't think he would have pitched it, but there he holds on to it.
Yeah, and for Cyprus, they did a great job of shutting down both those options, and Holt felt it was best just to hang on to it.
Now bring up second down and 10 from the 20-yard line.
And as you mentioned, every play they run on the ground just takes another 30, 40 seconds off the clock, as Spanish Fork's in no hurry to snap the ball.
4 wide receivers on the play. Holt slings it in the middle. That one almost tipped there to Corbin Harrison. Goes incomplete, looking for Davidson over the middle. And that will bring up third down and about 10.
Yeah, and Tia with great coverage there from his linebacker position just knocks that ball up in the air. And they have Tia listed as a quarterback and linebacker, but he's number 43. So for Spanish Fork here, it's third down. You might want to keep it on the ground and just let that clock run. You're in 4-down territory.
Third down and 10, ready to go. Back to throw. Holt looking for the top, looking for the knockout punch. It's caught, and he's inside the 1. I believe that was Corbin Harrison.
Or is it Oldham?
Sorry, it was Oldham, number 9. The second time Gabe Oldham has been the target, and there they pick on that matchup with J.J. Underwood.
Yeah, and Oldham's 6'7", so he's definitely got the height advantage on number 1. As that J.J. Underwood for Cyprus.
They called him out at the 1, and maybe he went out before, but it looked like the ball potentially got across the plane from at least our replay.
Oldham had a 2-yard touchdown catch earlier. You might want to just throw that pass to him.
From the 1, Caden Holt. Read the back. He's got a couple of touchdowns tonight. It'll be Holt back to throw. Slings it, looking for Harrison, incomplete. Fiatau there on the coverage, knocked it away.
And if you're Spanish Fork, there's 5:45 to go. You might want to bring in Rapena and see if you can't run the ball into the end zone, and nothing else, run some time off the clock if you're not able to pick it up right away.
2nd and goal from the 1. Ready to go. Here's the give. It's going to be Reed. He's in. Touchdown, Spanish Fork. Taysom Reed from a yard out.
And that is Reed's 3rd touchdown of the night. 2 on the ground for 1 yard, and he had a 2-yard catch earlier. And he's making a push for our MVP Sports MVP player of the game.
33-14. And I think now Spanish Fork might just go for 1 as Seth Wilkins is running onto the field. Wilkins has been handling the kicking duties with Cade Olson injured on the sideline. Snap good, hold good. Kick is a line drive kick and it's through. And with 5:41 to play here in the 4th quarter, a 34-14 lead for Spanish Fork. And the Dons have put all the pressure now on Cyprus here as the Pirates are going to need some quick offense.
Yeah, and Cyprus is going to have to abandon the run here and go strictly through the air because there's just not enough time to score. And really, if you're Cyprus, you might be playing for next week where this one might be out of reach, but you might want to build some confidence going into the next week's ball game. Is if this score holds out, Cyprus will be 0-3 on the season, where last year they started 4-0.
So right here, ready to go. Spanish Fork would move to 2-1. Heading to Provo next week to start Region 8 play, which would be a big opportunity for Spanish Fork to potentially get a win next week to open up Region 8 play.
And we have a final from Bountiful. Springville was able to win that one 20-14, a huge win for the RPI of Region 8.
Here's Wilkins with the kick. This one's going to be returnable. On the return is Banuelos. And Banuelos out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. And 5:35 remaining on the clock here. And like Chris said, we would imagine that we're going to see a lot of Parker Meldrum here have to try to throw the football through the air.
Yeah, we will. And next week we mentioned that we're at Provo. Provo ended up losing to Timpview 13-7 in a close game. So outside of that, it looks like every Region 8 team has either won or has the lead outside of Provo.
And that's a very good sign for Region 8. 1st down and 10 from their own 21. Back to throw. Meldrum, 3-step drop, has his man. That's Timpson, who has the 1st down across the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
And for Timpson, we haven't called his name much tonight. He comes up with a catch. I believe he had a drop earlier.
And now it's 1st and 10. They'll move the chains. And now you're seeing a little bit of a hurry-up offense coming from Cyprus. Ready to go again. Back to throw. Meldrum looking this time deep towards the sideline. Going back and making... That was going to go incomplete. Looking for, I believe that was Fiatau.
Yeah, if Fiatau had a shot at that, he's had a couple of drops here in this quarter, and that's really hasn't aided in this comeback at all.
So bring up 2nd and 10. Ball on the 33-yard line. 5:09 to go here in the 4th quarter. Timpson and Herzog in the slot to the top of your screen. Sets up the screen pass. That's complete. Down the sideline and getting enough for a 1st down. They go back to Orozco, who gets enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, and that was just a little bubble screen designed to have some blocking from your wide receivers as Cyprus is able to pick up a huge chunk play there, but the clock's under 5 minutes now.
So 1st and 10, ball on the 47-yard line. 34-14. Meldrum pressured from behind, rolling away, goes down the field. That one incomplete. looking for
Fiatao.
Fiatao again.
Fiatau's, I mean, he's just sprinted down the field a couple of times, is looking exhausted.
Brings up 2nd and 10. However, I think we have a penalty on the play. And we'll see what the penalty call is going to be. Looks like an eligible receiver downfield the second time, Chris, and that's something that's important. We have to remember that Cyprus was about to score again, and they had a touchdown called back because of an ineligible man downfield.
Yeah, and that was at a point where I believe they already had scored once, and so unfortunately for them, they have a giant goose egg here in the second half.
1st and 15, back to throw with some time, looking over the middle. That one's thrown into double coverage. But they're going to say it's a catch over towards the sideline for Logan Timpson. And that's going to be close to a first down. He might be about a half a yard short.
Are they moving the chains or not? Well, yeah, I think you're right. It's a half a yard short. They've moved to the plus side of the field, though.
With 4 minutes and 30 seconds, it was about this kind of a ball game last year up in Magna. If you're not familiar with Magna, you go to Salt Lake City and go west.
Yeah.
Meldrum back to throw over the middle. That one's going to be incomplete, and that one looking over the middle brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, and a pass that time to Herzog. He's not able to come up with it. And for Cyprus, they're running out of opportunities here.
So 3rd down, and it's probably about a half yard or so. The tough part is, like you said, Chris, is if you're Cyprus, you either really like incomplete passes or first downs.
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
where you can go quickly.
They might run it here just to pick it up.
Back to throw with some time, being pressured, getting away. Ball comes loose, and I think Cyprus did get back on it.
I think it was Samui, the offensive lineman. 71, Garcia, that jumps on the ball that time. I thought it was 77, but 71 with the heads-up play. Garcia gives them another opportunity, but they lost 12 yards.
Instead of being 4th down and 1, it's going to end up being about a 4th and 12, maybe 12 and a half.
Looks like they're going to punt.
And that might be Cyprus just waving the white flag.
Yeah, and and that's a sign of respect for Spanish Fork.
Ooh, low snap. They get it off, however. And this one's punted over towards the sideline, out of bounds. They'll mark it around the 27-yard line. And that will be first down Spanish Fork with 3:35 to go. It looks like, Chris, the Dons are going to 2-1 overall on the year, heading to Provo.
Yeah, and if you're Spanish Fork here, as you mentioned, they'll head to Provo 2-1. Provo will also be 2-1. That'll be quite the Region 8 opener. But if you're Spanish Fork here, it gives you an opportunity to possibly get in some of your up-and-comers on the JV squad.
Caden Holt still in there. Joshua Buck the back. That's Zach Dart, who will throw over towards the sideline. That one through the hands of Jace Gunter. You look at the Spanish Fork schedule. They go to Provo next week. The week after, they're back here for Wasatch. Then they go to Salem Hills. They're back here for Maple Mountain, and then they go to Springville.
Yeah, that's a huge stretch, and then they end it with Payson. The weird thing is they have a non-region game at Mountain Ridge to end the season.
2nd down and 10, ready to go with 4 wide receivers. And here they'll just go straight up the middle. This is Joshua Buck on the carry, and that will get the clock moving here to about the 33-yard line. And it used to be, Chris, that kind of a game late in the year may not be as big. You may have your playoff positioning already wrapped up, but in the RPI sense, you have a non-region game that last week. It still matters.
Yeah, if you're really close to that, 6th spot, that game could be the difference between playing the next week and getting another week off of rest And the first 3 rounds of the playoffs will be played at the home sites with the extra round added. Instead of 16, it's essentially a 32-team playoff with only 26 teams.
Dart pressured. He just throws this one away. There's a penalty flag that's down. And we'll see here, kind of in the area of holding. And it's going to be a hold against Spanish Fork.
Let's see if Cyprus takes the penalty or if they elect to make it 4th down.
And they'll decline the penalty. It'll be 4th down, and Spanish Fork will punt. So Cyprus gets the ball back with 2 minutes and 46 seconds. And now when you really take a look at Spanish Fork, Chris, through the 3 preseason games that you had, you'll get the 4th one later on, but now the games for your region play really starts to begin to count. This is probably one of the bigger components of the RPI system is those region games.
Yeah, absolutely, as we have a punt that goes out, but the region games that are huge that you're playing the same teams, the record doesn't matter, so that's kind of weird. So, but the crazy thing is you really want your region to do good in your non-region games just for the fact of how the RPI works, where it takes your record, your strength of schedule essentially, and your record against it, your opponent's record, and then your opponent's record. And so those 3 components make up the RPI, and I'm curious, I'm excited. I think it's September 23rd, the first one's coming out, prepared by Max Preps, and I want to get my hands on that as soon as that comes out.
Meldrum back to throw. They dump it off. Here's Herzog, who will make a couple of men miss and go down the sideline right there and get out to about the 47, maybe the 48-yard line. A nice pickup for Ryan Herzog in that kind of fullback, kind of flex back position for Cyprus.
Yeah, big pickup there, brings up 2nd manageable. We're nearing the 2-minute mark here in the game, and Cyprus is just trying to make the game look a little bit closer now. The score doesn't matter. It's totally a win-loss percentage for the RPI in the playoffs. So it's a win or go home almost.
The big one is for Spanish Fork. This is a win against a team of classification above you. So you're going to get a little extra bump, I feel, in the RPI. Back to throw with some time. Meldrum sets up the screen pass. This one goes incomplete, and that brings up 3rd down.
And I'm curious, if you beat a 6A team and you're a 5A team, if that 6A team doesn't win a single game, does that help or hurt you? These are all things we'll have to figure out later on in the season. Cyprus last year had a winning record of 7-3, and they lost in the first round of the playoffs. But this season they've started out 0-3.
And so this is one of those things you're going to look at it, and you're going to probably have some mixed feelings, but definitely rooting for Cyprus to do well the rest of the way. Straight up the middle there is Lester. And that's going to be a 1st down for Cyprus here with about 2:08 to play.
Yeah, 2:08, and credit Cyprus. They're going to play till the end here.
Stay tuned. We'll have our post-game show coming up. After this one goes final, we'll recap this one. As Meldrum back to throw, throws this one towards the sidelines, incomplete. And that will bring up 2nd down. We'll recap this one. We'll get our MVP Sports MVP of the game. We'll get you ready for next week's matchup between Provo and Spanish Fork. Should be a fun one. Next Friday night, 7 p.m. kickoff right here on Spanish Fork 17. The new stadium out there in Provo, I've heard nothing but great things of the new Provo High.
Yeah, I've not seen a game there. I've driven by the high school, and that press box looks as big as any I've seen at the high school level.
2nd down and 10. Back to throw, rolling out and looking downfield. Meldrum throws this one, looking for Timpson. That one goes incomplete. Brings up 3rd down.
My understanding is that the Provo School District's also looking to replace Timpview High School with the new high school building, so that'll be interesting to see what they build.
Kind of seems to be the cool new thing, Chris, is, new, flashy's not the right word, but kind of new, maybe more modern looks at high schools.
Yeah, absolutely.
3rd down and 10 coming up. And maybe modern's not even there. I don't exactly know the word I'm looking for. 3rd and 10. Meldrum sets up the screen pass. A nice job there, and I believe that is going to be down the sidelines. That is going to be trouble. That is going to be Fiatau down the sideline. A nice pickup there on the screen pass.
Yeah, and Fiatau's able to pick up more than enough for the first down, and he's really been the all-star this night for Cyprus, as he's just their triple threat on special teams, offense, and defense. And all I know is that kid's going to sleep well tonight because he's played his heart out.
Be 1st and 10, back to throw, looking for the end zone, incomplete. Looking at kind of back shoulder throw there. And now we'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
And if the Dons hold on to a 20-point lead or win here, that would be huge. Anytime you can beat a team that's one classification higher than you by 20, and for Cyprus, they lost to Murray by 3, who's a traditionally good program. They lost to Ridgeline by 15, so this victory might be even more impressive than those.
They'll have a chance to see what they can do. Back to throw. That one's going to be completed. I believe that's Timpson, the tight end, and he'll get down to about the 6-yard line.
Brings up a 3rd and about 3, 6-yard line, so Cyprus can still pick up the first down. They're going to use a timeout here.
So a good opportunity for Cyprus. Chris, you mentioned something I really liked, and the fact was building habits positive for next week. And I think Spanish Fork did that, but if you're Cyprus, it's a little different now, because now you got to get ready for region play, Chris, and you're going in there after going on the road and losing 34-14, most likely. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, and if, for Cyprus, you're just trying to build for next week, but you're right. Each week the goal is just to get a little bit better, and if you do that every week, you should have a pretty good team for Spanish Fork. They did have that slip up against Cedar City. We'll see how much that costs them in the RPI. But, it looks, you tell me, do they look a lot better from week 1 to week 3?
Yeah, I think this is definitely a bright spot moment from week 1 to week 3. Cedar City, I believe, losing to Pineview earlier. Rolling out, going end zone. Meldrum has a completion, touchdown, and that is going to be,
I believe it's Fuatau.
Gets the touchdown right there, and a late touchdown for Cyprus with a minute to go, and now it will be onside kick time for the Pirates.
And for Meldrum, that is his, I believe that is his 2nd touchdown pass. He had 1 run earlier.
And this is where that touchdown that got called back. Cyprus late getting the kicker on the field. Quickly running is Julian Gonzalez. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get this one off in time. Gonzalez running on quickly to try to get the extra point. Snap good, hold good, kick is, I believe, no good. I think it was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
It was low. Whether it was tipped or not, I couldn't tell, but that thing didn't look good from the beginning. And kicking's tough. I envy those guys. A lot of pressure. You really don't get any rhythm. You just run out there and you have one shot to perform.
Still a 14-point game here, so still a 2-touchdown game. Cyprus will have to go for the onside kick and hopefully recover it. If they don't, Spanish Fork really can just come out and probably take a knee.
Yeah, exactly. Spanish Fork will be able to take a knee, get in that victory formation, go 2-1, and get ready for the Provo Bulldogs, where Provo's got a great defense. They have not allowed very many points this season.
That'll be a big test right there, and Provo really's built that program over the last about 7-8 years to the point where they've been able to improve there for the Bulldogs. And now we'll get ready to see here what we're going to get. Onside kick time. Ball has to go 10 yards before the receiving team can touch it. The defense can touch before the kicking team can touch it. Receiving team can touch it whenever, but if they don't handle it, it's a live ball. Here it is, and this one is going to be fielded, and Spanish Fork will fall on it around the 43-yard line, and the Dons can come out and take the victory formation and have a chance right here to move to 2-1. And they'll have a chance to ring the victory bell. People are already heading towards the end zone down there to the victory bell.
Yeah, and what a great game as the Spanish Fork student body is bouncing up and down, and we're starting to sway a little bit here in the press box.
So here we go. Caden Holt back out there. He'll take kind of mishandles the snap, but just falls on it. Works out well in that situation.
It's the most interesting way to nil the ball, but it works nonetheless, as you mentioned, Ryan, and results the same.
Probably the one time you're going to be okay with a bad snap there. They'll have to probably snap it one more time. Cyprus not using the timeout to stop the clock. And Holt takes the knee, and I think we'll just let probably the 30 seconds come off the clock here at Spanish Fork High School. It's going to be a 34-20 victory here for the Dons. They're going to start shaking hands here at Spanish Fork High School. The Dons win 34-20 here on Spanish Fork 17. We're going to just kind of let the clock, I guess, run down here. Everyone's heading towards the end zone. We'll get ready to send it to break. When we come back, we'll wrap this one up in our MVP Sports MVP of the game. 34-20. Spanish Fork wins.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson, and Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Well, it's always a fun night in Spanish Fork when you can run over and ring the victory bell here at 34-20 win here at Spanish Fork. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, this one we kind of wondered what we were going to get here with this one. The reason why I say this is last year we had kind of an offensive slugfest, and this one we had a little bit of everything. If you like defense, you got some nice defensive stops. You like some offense, you had some nice big plays with the offense. Even if you like special teams, there were some nice special teams plays, especially from Cyprus.
Yeah, Cyprus had some great punt returns, but in the end, Spanish Fork ends up coming victorious, and they had a very balanced attack, especially at the end. They were able to get some big runs, but man, the throwing game for Spanish Fork was very impressive tonight.
Yeah, it will be interesting to kind of see. When you take a look at the game that Caden Holt had, it was kind of one of those games where you kind of wanted to kind of see a little bit. We saw Spanish Fork, though, tonight, Chris, not just use Caden Holt, go to Zach Dart, give him some snaps, and in some meaningful situations tonight where he'd get a series here and there.
Yeah, and that builds some experience. Dart, I believe, is a sophomore, along with nearly half the contributors to this team, so they're really building for the future while having success in the current state.
You have to like what Caden Holt did. We talked a little bit just now about Zach Dart, but Caden Holt really did a nice job tonight. Didn't really seem to force much and really took exactly what the Cyprus defense was going to give him.
Yeah, he didn't try and force too many things. He took what the defense gave him. He went over the top a couple of times, and really in the end he had a massive game.
When you take a look at it right here, a little bit of everything. Spanish Fork, the defense tonight for the Dons, though, Chris, couple of really nice stops. They got some 3 and outs. and really contained an offense that saw some success. You never really once, though, saw the defense really hang their head.
Yeah, you didn't. And I think what really helped was to start the third quarter. They got a 3-and-out. The Spanish Fork Dons offense was able to counter with the touchdown. They get another 3-and-out, and the offense scores again, and that really was the difference in the ball game. That stretch in the third quarter, pardon me.
We talked about some of the newcomers on this team, and one of the questions that we talked about was how Spanish Fork was going to replace the running back situation with Kimball Morley and some of those other great backs we've seen the last few years here at Spanish Fork. And tonight, I think they kind of got a glimpse of exactly what the future has in our MVP Sports MVP of the game.
Yeah, our MVP is going to be Tayson Reed. He had 3 touchdowns, 2 of them on the ground, and 1 he had a reception. So 3 big touchdowns. Was really Reed was able to get them when they got in the Driggs Mortgage team into the end zone 3 times, and that's why he's our MVP player of the game. Also, he had some nice runs in this ball game as well.
We saw some kind of shorter runs from him that first week against Cedar, but tonight he really kind of came into his own and kind of said, hey, I can be a feature back if you give me the shot.
Yeah, and he's just a sophomore, so he has plenty of time to gain more experience and confidence and see what he can do at the high school level.
Next week, we got our next broadcast coming to you next Friday night, a 7 p.m. kickoff from Provo. It will be Spanish Fork against Provo, Chris. The Bulldogs looking to try to see what they can do. This is going to be a very interesting matchup with Spanish Fork and Provo.
Yeah, and Provo is going to look to shut down Spanish Fork's offense, shut them out maybe, possibly, and then lead that defense to try and generate great field position and get points that way. But I think Provo's a very defensive-heavy team.
It'll be really interesting. A fun way to start. Region play is here. Region 8 the rest of the way. It should be fun. It should be exciting. Tonight, though, Spanish Fork will have a chance to celebrate. The Dons get this one done 34-20 over Cyprus. For our entire Spanish Fork Community Network sports team and my partner Chris Hurst, I'm Ryan Pickens saying so long tonight, and we'll see you next Friday night for more high school football on Spanish Fork 17.